that pictures were being taken, and he sent that, that old guy 15, 20 feet in the air, and Britney Spears attacked the other dude with the paparazzi guy with a golf club. That's why we call Bison the Britney Spears, is what I'm trying to say.
Did the Bison have a golf club?
No. Okay. No, he didn't need one. He had the two horn things coming up out of his head. Is what he had.
Okay.
Did the Bison have horns?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Did it? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I think the report was something like his grandson ran up on it because it was trying to gore him.
Yeah.
With it.
Sure. And so
the grandson ran away.
Or someone ran up and tried to scare it off so it wouldn't gore him after it knocked him to the ground.
Got it. Okay. Well, I mean, the old guy's lucky to be alive, and frankly, the Bison is lucky to be alive as well. But apparently, the decision has been made now that the Bison will not be put down.
They do make Bison burgers out there.
They do.
Well, the Bison's probably pissed about that too. How many of his friends have been made into hamburger? It's a legit question.
Yeah.
Hey, Joan, watch me trigger Sam. Hey, Sam, are we streaming yet? Apparently, we're having some computer problems in there. We're like that close.
We're not having computer problems. AI is having AI problems.
Okay, so we're trying to get.
We're going.
Are we up now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So
I'm just not as pleased with the thumbnails.
That's okay. You know what?
It gave you a navy blue blazer and like a button-up shirt.
A navy blue blazer is what it gave me.
White.
I don't even know if I own a navy blue blazer.
Hang on, is that on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's up.
They're doing this new thing with, and then we're going to get into the business of the radio program. But because Donald Trump did a great interview with Trey Yingst, we're going to get into that. Joan played a little bit of the audio, but we're doing this new thing with the thumbnails for the stream. So if you watch on YouTube or Facebook or whatever, they have these new AI-driven thumbnails, and I actually asked my wife, this is kind of funny, Joan, because my thumbnail, the image that they use, can I just say, I look pretty badass in my thumbnail. And so I asked my wife, I said to Amy, I said, hey, do I really look that good?
And she said,
your AI version looks that good.
See, I know, and you've asked me if we can change it, and I don't know what it is. AI doesn't like you. When I ask to use a different shot, substitute this host shot for that or whatever.
Yeah.
It makes you look like Dana White with an extra chromosome.
Well, now I've got to see it. Is that up right now?
No.
Okay.
No. I it's not fair because it like shrinks your forehead area. I don't get it. I'm like, use this picture, and for some reason it's like I'm also going to screw with it. And I'm like, no. Just
well, maybe what we can do is we could just have we could do this. I don't know, maybe not 5 minutes before the program. We can have like some AI experts try to come up with, some AI version of me that actually, looks like me, but also doesn't make me look like me because I'm not the best looking fellow around. Maybe we can do that. Anyway, so I think the new name of the Bison, I think the new name of the Bison, Joan, needs to be Britney Spears.
Okay.
He did try to Britney spear him.
Oh, look at Sam right there.
Nice,
Sam. That one was right there in the open, like he was.
Very good, Sam. Very good. See, Sam's in a better mood because 10 minutes ago he was throwing stuff in the studio because he couldn't get the AI to work.
Don't ever tell me it's going to take over. It's dumb.
Well, yeah, AI is dumb, but so are people. Trust me on that one. I've been managing them for like 30 years.
Don't you dare accuse me of a prompting issue.
Moving right along, the war in Iran does continue. We continue to bomb them 4 days in a row now is what it's been. The president telling Fox News last night, Trey Yingst, more bombing is on the way. He also does say that the negotiations must continue. I do have video here.
Representatives, I have spoken to them, but my representatives over the course of actually, an hour ago.
And what message was delivered?
They want to make a deal, but every time they make a deal, they break it. They don't want to die. People don't want to die. About an hour ago.
And what message was delivered?
You better make a deal. You're not going to have anybody left. We're being very careful with the civilian population, as you know, but I said, you better make a deal. You're not going to have anything left.
And you think they will?
They should. I don't know if they will or not.
They're not going to. Can we all just be honest? Like, I don't know why we keep playing this game with Iran. They're not going to negotiate in good faith. They never have negotiated in good faith, and they're not negotiating in good faith now. And so the president, I think he's finally wised up. We've spoken about this, quite a bit, almost ad nauseum to this point, so I don't need to belabor the point. But, they can make all the deals. Iran can make all the deals that they want to make. The problem is they won't stick to it. They have no intention of honoring those deals. And that's why the latest is that now we have restarted a blockade of Iranian ports. We spoke about this news yesterday. Now the blockade has officially begun. Do you know what the inflation rate, as our inflation rate has now gone down, do you know what the inflation rate is in Iran? Joe, do you know what it is? It is like 300%.
Yeah, it's something really awful.
Now, that's bad for the Iranian people. It impacts the government as well, but you got to feel for the Iranian people. Now, remember yesterday, the president said that he wanted to charge 20% for protecting the Strait of Hormuz. Well, I don't know if you saw, that caused a big old crap storm. So he is now pulling that back and now says that he'll do it for, quote, trade and investment deals. In other words, I think Trump said that he was going to do it. Our allies and friends in the Middle East and so forth said, no, you can't do that, 20%. No, please don't do that. So now they've agreed to, apparently, there will be an agreement for trade and investment deals to pay us back. Once we get the Strait of Hormuz open, then we'll be able to, do what we need to do. We can protect it, and then we can somehow get reimbursed. And so we protect the Strait of Hormuz. We ultimately get these trade and investment deals into America from around the world. Still a good deal if we can get it. There's more from this interview with Trey Yingst, who, by the way, Joan, I don't know if you saw the actual interview.
I did.
Isn't it weird to see Trey Yingst in like a suit?
Yeah, it is.
It was
and not in a war zone, like dodging some debris flying at him.
Yes, exactly. Not in a war zone. So I thought that he did a great job. Anyway, so we also, Joan, have you heard the, don't say who, but have you heard the toot heard around the world?
Oh, yeah, I did.
Okay, so we're going to talk about that at 5:35. It is 5:15. Time to check the roads on WTN.
Delays so far. It looks really good on 40, on 24, 65. Looks like there might be some delays both directions around the Goodlettsville area. Just normal volume delays. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Very good, Joan. Thank you. As far as your weather goes today, Wednesday, July 15th, sunny. Possible pop-up storms as well. High of 90 degrees. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Going through some of this relevant audio. Trey Yingst, this interview with Donald Trump talking about Iran. And there was a good question that he asked. Was there one thing, sort of like the straw that broke the camel's back on intelligence as to why this whole thing began again? And this is the answer from Donald Trump.
Was there a specific piece of intelligence that made you decide to launch this operation?
Well, it was specific in the sense that it just never stops, and they're going to go forward, and they wanted a nuclear weapon. We knew they wanted a nuclear weapon. If they have a nuclear weapon, Israel wouldn't be here. Look,
they said they didn't want a nuclear weapon.
Well, they say that. Everything they say is a lie. They lie. I've never seen anything like it. They also come out and they'll tell you we never discussed nuclear, and we're in a room for 5 hours. That's all we discussed. And they'll walk out and say, nuclear was not discussed. Everything was discussed ad nauseum. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Had we not done the B-2 bombers, had we not bombed their nuclear sites, their 3 nuclear sites, and there's another one we're looking at right now, as you know.
All right, so that is President Trump, and clearly he's exactly right. At least I believe that the president is exactly right. And part of what he has to say about Iran is that, and a lot of people, I have said this actually, where Iran has said that they don't want a nuclear weapon by declaring a religious decree. You remember this a while ago, actually years ago now, they declared a fatwa against the development of nuclear weapons, saying that it was forbidden under Islam, which I am, of course, laughing at that. I read this morning, actually, looking at this fatwa. Do you know that it's never actually been written or produced or actually documented? It was a statement made, I guess, one time back in, 2003, I think it was. Also, don't forget that under another Islamic concept called the taqiyya, they are permitted to lie about what they're doing to avoid persecution. This in and of itself is debated, but I believe that they are lying, regardless as to how they justify it. Everybody knows that. By the way, as I said, we just wrapped up night 4 of another stage of bombing. So now the president is saying that the worst is indeed yet to come.
Do you anticipate that the strikes we're seeing this week against Iran will expand? Are you considering hitting energy targets or other locations inside of Iran?
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
You anticipate?
All right, so that is going to be obviously a very big deal. Diplomacy is not working, and I think we know that diplomacy is not working, and it's also not going to work. And for the time that we keep spending talking about this with Iran and going through these useless negotiations, the more they continue towards this movement of a nuclear weapon, trying to develop a nuclear weapon. I've seen, just reading about all this morning, the diplomatic moves, usual countries, Pakistan and Qatar and others, they're just saying that this is not going to work. I've seen quotes saying the following regarding the war. No end in sight. Not really sure where this is headed. This could go on for quite some time. One question is, will we eventually take Karg Island? And the other question is, because I think that we will, what exactly is it that we're waiting for? This was a topic of conversation. Donald Trump and Trey Yingst on Fox News.
Quickly.
You posted today on True Social comments that you made back in 1988 about Karg Island. And at the time you said, one bullet shot at one of our men or ships, and I'd do a number on Karg Island, I'd go in and take it.
Yeah.
Do you still intend to take Karg Island?
So I can't say that to you because if I did, it would be foolish, right? But it'd be nice to make a little headlines, but it would be foolish. But I'll tell you about Karg Island. So we've already...
Are you ruling out a ground campaign in a limited capacity?
I don't want to say that either, but I would say no if I thought it was appropriate. I'd say sometimes you need a ground campaign, but we have other people that will do the ground campaign for us. But we already hit Karg Island, as you know, twice. Even 3 times. I said, hit everything but the oil. Just leave that little area from 25 yards out. Leave that little area. Don't touch the oil. Because I don't want that in terms of the world economy. It's a chunk of the world economy.
Yeah, but the president is right. It is a chunk of the world's economy. It is a huge chunk of Iran's economy. And one of the things, and we've talked about this before, but with Karg Island, is that this is where most of Iran's major oil storage tanks are. It's where they export their oil. It's where they make most of their money, is on Karg Island. And it is also where our troops would face the most danger. Because, you're talking about coordinating all of our assets, amphibious, air, ground, and we would be exposed. A lot of these experts say that our military, it would be like we're going to be in a fishbowl and vulnerable to snipers and drones. And you heard the president just say, where you can't destroy Karg Island because it is such a complicated facility. And so if we ended up destroying it, it's not going to be able to be rebuilt quickly. If we do destroy it, it'll impact oil not only for Iran, but all across the world. And so we need to be careful not to destroy the exporting facilities. So Karg Island is, at least to me, it seems like the number one thing that we could do to really impact Iran's economy. As we said, their inflation rate right now is at 300%. Finally, as we've mentioned many times, you cannot trust Iran, so we need to watch them. The president says, we are watching Iran big time.
Within 2 weeks, had we not done the B-2 bombers, had we not bombed their nuclear sites, their 3 nuclear sites. And there's another one we're looking at right now, as you know.
Pickaxe Mountain.
We're looking at Pickaxe because somebody said there's a little activity. You know, we have cameras, Space Force, we have cameras they can read the badge, they can read your name, probably Mohammed. They can read your name on a badge from space. And every area of Pickaxe, but the other 3 are covered.
But specifically on
if they make any move, we immediately go and do whatever we have to do. But they haven't. On the other, they were so decimated.
Some weapons experts say that the United States doesn't have the ability to strike deep enough with these bunker buster bombs at Pickaxe Mountain.
They can go deep. We have good stuff. Nobody knows about Pickaxe. By the way, nobody knows if they even are doing anything.
Yeah, so that is President Trump talking about Pickaxe. That, by the way, just so you know, is a tunnel system that has been built near I guess they call it the Natanz nuclear facility in Iran. And so Pickaxe, it's that facility, that tunnel system that goes into the facility. So if they're trying to repair that tunnel system, which some say they are, then that means they're trying to get back into Natanz, which means they're trying to get their nuclear program started again, which is what a lot of people are saying Iran is trying to do, which is exactly why Donald Trump is doing what he is doing. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz, it is still effectively closed. I guess there's, some ships getting through somehow, but ultimately, it is very heavily restricted. So, big news, and we'll cover this here in the next couple of hours. But, big news yesterday, inflation, really beating expectations in the month of June, down quite a bit. Of course, the Strait of Hormuz for a good part of the month was effectively open, or at least a lot less restricted. So now the thinking is, okay, celebrate while you can, because, here in the month of July, we know that the Strait of Hormuz is back to being heavily restricted, which will, of course, impact the cost of gas and everything else. We'll have to see what happens. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. It is 524. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Joan has the news coming up at 5:30. Joan.
Yeah, we're going to tell you how to skip getting cyclosporiasis. That's that intestinal illness spreading across the U.S.
All right. Now, I want to know, is it true?
Yeah.
The whole Taco Bell thing, is that true? That Taco Bell is being investigated for causing this thing. I read this, and Amy told me about it because she is a fan of Taco Bell.
Oh.
I can't stand Taco Bell.
They pulled certain lettuces and tomatoes preemptively, like grocery stores, because that's where it's spreading.
So
not a Taco Bell, but in the produce.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not necessarily Taco Bell, but they do believe that it could be some sort of a food-borne illness.
It is food-borne. I'll explain.
Okay, Joan will explain.
Yeah.
Coming up at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is now 5:30. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We've got sunshine, at least partial sunshine coming today. There is still a chance of pop-up thunderstorms this afternoon. Our high is going to be a sticky 90 degrees. In the news, an intestinal virus that's broken out around the country is here in Tennessee. The CDC, however, says that there are only between 11 and 30 cases statewide. WSMV4's Braden Ross.
Word is spreading about the latest foodborne illness plaguing the U.S.
I have heard about it, and it sounds pretty disgusting.
Cyclosporiasis is a gastrointestinal illness caused by a microscopic parasite.
It usually comes to us in contaminated water or contaminated produce.
Infectious disease professor at Vanderbilt, Dr. William Schaffner, says it can cause vomiting, diarrhea, and stomach cramps. But the good news, it can be cured with antibiotics.
It's terrible, but remember, if we can diagnose it, we can treat it.
The disease has been reported in 34 states across the country, but the Metro Public Health Department tells me there have been less than 10 reported cases here in Nashville.
Cyclosporiasis, by the way, is spread by consuming fresh produce infected with the parasite, including bagged salads, cilantro, basil, and raspberries. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche set to be grilled by the Senate Judiciary Committee today over a series of controversies from his time leading the Justice Department as he is seeking confirmation to secure his role on a permanent basis.
While he was easily confirmed as Deputy Attorney General last year, Blanche's path to the top job of the Department of Justice is expected to be much harder. After serving as Trump's former personal defense lawyer, Blanche's tenure at the Department of Justice has been defined by controversies, including the now defunct plans for a so-called anti-weaponization fund and the botched release of the Epstein files. And following the sudden death of Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, Blanche will likely need the support of every Republican on the committee in order for his nomination to advance to the Senate floor. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
That is the latest news. We've got your traffic next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Okay, no problems this morning on the major roadways heading in, although I am seeing just a minor delay on 65 running south into the Goodlettsville area. That looks like just normal volume delays. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.537 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on in to Nashville's Morning News for a Wednesday, July 15th. By the way, Brian Wilson is going to be joining us at Jones 6 o'clock this morning.
Little change of plans.
Not his usual 7 Wednesdays with Wilson, so he'll be joining us at 6 o'clock here on Nashville's Morning News, a little bit after the news at 6 on Super Talk 99.7. Right now, it is time for Jones World, where, hey, by the way, Sam, since you're such an expert on AI, can you get us a little theme that says Jones World to the tune of Wayne's World? Work on that, won't you?
For a fee.
Sure. Anyway,
Oh.
I'm sure the company will be glad to go ahead and do that. Anyway, moving right along. So this is where Joan picks the topics. I have not seen nor heard any of these stories. So, Joan, what's first?
Okay, so we're going to start out with this guy. He's from New Jersey. He makes me ashamed. And he's in this video crying because his wife just got arrested. Not only did she get arrested, but she ended up in that ICE facility in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, to be deported back to Canada, where she's from. So go ahead and play the video, and then we'll kind of do an explainer.
All right.
I need help. I need my wife. I don't want her to get hurt. I don't want to see her get... I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Yesterday, July 13th, my wife was detained by ICE and brought to Delaney Hall in Newark, New Jersey. My wife is a Canadian citizen and I'm an American citizen. We've been married for a little over 3 years, and I'm just doing anything I can to get her story heard and bring any help to and attention to her situation so that I can get her released, even if that means back to Canada. I don't care what your opinions are of me or the situation. That's kind of irrelevant. All that matters is her safety and her well-being.
All right. Yeah. Okay, so by listening to this, you think that ICE just snatched her right off the street because she's Canadian.
Hey? Yes.
Yeah. Here's the actual story, and this comes from the New York Post. A leftist Canadian woman allegedly slapped a teenager who was wearing President Trump branded clothing on the Jersey Shore over the 4th of July weekend.
Got it.
Yeah. She was arrested, detained by ICE. Her name is Caitlin Tracy. She's 33 years old. You'd think she'd know better at this age. Allegedly recorded herself confronting the group of 4 girls on the Point Pleasant Beach boardwalk. And she took issue with the two beachgoers, who are minors, by the way. They were wearing patriotic colored sweatpants with the words Trump and ICE. And she got so mad that she slapped one of them across the face.
Well, sorry. What's her name?
Caitlin Tracy.
Bye, Caitlin. Instead of bye, Felicia. Bye,
Right.
Caitlin.
Bye, Caitlin. Yeah.
See you later.
I think she's but what makes me mad is this guy crying.
Well, yeah, because so here's what's, and I shouldn't even say this, but when you first brought me the story and I looked at that photo, didn't actually know what the story was about. His wife actually looks like a guy.
Oh.
Did you notice that?
No, I didn't notice
whatever.
that.
I'm not.
No, I'm with you.
Okay, so Sam, did you notice the same thing?
No, I was like...
I thought it was some sort of a trans thing.
Oh.
What? I'm just saying.
I'm clipping that and sending it to Chris.
Whatever.
Oh, you know what?
Anyway,
I mean...
didn't Marco Rubio say, listen, you don't come to our country and, legal or not, but you don't come to our country even legally, but then you start, doing stuff like, breaking our laws and assaulting people.
Slapping people across the face.
Slapping people around for what they're wearing or for whatever reason. You're not allowed to do that. So I don't know if Bye Felicia is a thing in Canada, but whatever they say in Canada, just bye.
Well, she's in that facility in Newark, New Jersey. Maybe she'll meet the hefty lawmaker who's now pregnant and extra hefty.
She's pregnant?
Monica McIver, yeah.
Okay.
She, in my humble opinion, she got pregnant in an effort to get herself to not have to go to jail because, she's facing a trial now.
Yeah.
For beating up on the ICE agents.
So it is your contention, Joan Jones.
Yeah.
That she went out and got herself pregnant.
She got knocked up by her husband.
So she would not have to go to jail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Little sympathy pregnancy.
I guess.
Yeah.
It works.
It does.
Does it work?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know.
It helped Elizabeth Holmes.
At sentencing, you can plead to the judge, the jury, however it works in whatever state or district, and be, well, she's about to be, or she just gave birth, and you don't want to separate the mother from the child. That'd be so mean to the child.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Well, very good. Anyway, this guy, so he's going to have to, I wonder what's going to happen to her. This guy's wife. I wonder if, because, there's some dangerous hombres in those places. I mean, I'll be the first to admit, there's some dangerous hombres in there. So you don't want somebody who, and I'm not dismissing what she did. I just want to be clear. I'm not dismissing what she did, but all right, so she slapped a kid. Very bad. I'm not saying that, I'm not excusing it, but to put her in a place, where there's murderers and rapists and all that kind of stuff. I mean, hopefully they keep her safe and separated.
Yeah, and that masculine jawline will certainly help.
Okay, moving right along. Next.
Okay, so next on the list is the teen takeover story. Is that the next one? Yeah.
Yeah.
The teen takeovers. So this is a pretty short video. A guy walks up to a restaurant that he's about to go into, and this is the sign that's in the window of the restaurant.
It says, no students allowed inside. You can place mobile orders only. I like that. Am I playing the video?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
See, these restaurants getting tired of these school kids. That's a daggone shame. No students allowed inside. You can place some mobile orders only. That's a shame.
It is a shame, but these kids are out of control.
So do you know what I noticed? Amy and I went to the Opry Mills Mall over the weekend.
Yeah.
And they check ID. And they're
like
not,
when you're coming into the mall?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're not, I guess they're not allowing.
Yeah, they passed a policy, basically, no unaccompanied
minors under the age of 18. So if you are under the age of 18 and you're trying to get into Opry Mills Mall, they're not going to allow you to do it. I think that's great.
I love that.
I was a little offended that nobody asked for my ID. They just waved me right in. What the heck? Whatever. But yeah. And Amy and I were like, what is it? Because we never go to that mall.
Yeah.
But we may start now that they've, incorporated that rule. But these teen takeovers, they are destroying businesses.
They're violent. It's amazing.
They are violent. And I'm trying to remember, because I know that there is a lot of crime at the Opry Mills Mall.
Yeah.
There is. So I don't know if there was one thing that happened where they said, okay, we are DUN done and we're not going to allow underage minors.
I think it was a teenager bringing a gun in.
Yeah. Which time?
I think the time it may have gone off. But it's also, they saw what was happening to Rivergate Mall and they were like, we don't want to become that. That's essentially what ruined Rivergate Mall.
Teen takeovers?
I mean, just
I thought Rivergate Mall closed
youth.
like years ago. But it was basically what you're saying is unaccompanied youth.
Yeah. I mean,
parents would drop off their kids and just, again, Amy would tell me about this, where parents would just drop off their kids at the mall and they would be there like all day.
Yes. It was like babysitting.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Joan. When you and I were kids in the 80s, we didn't do stuff to the violent extremes that today's youth do with these takeovers. I mean, we would hang out at the mall.
Yeah.
Maybe go to a movie, try to, meet, people of the opposite sex and hang out at the food court. That's what we would do.
Hang at the food court, yep.
And now it's like, okay, let's see how many stores we can ransack.
Yeah.
Hey, on Twitter or whatever, Twitter, X, Instagram, whatever. Hey, everybody, let's meet at you name the store and let's just go get a bunch of free stuff. And if you're in the store and you got like 5 employees in the store and you got, 50 of these kids that run in and just steal a bunch of stuff. It's
there's
destroying
There's
the
also a
malls.
new movement to hold the parents responsible when the kids are violent like that.
Good. They should.
Yeah.
They absolutely should, because these parents, man, they don't give a rip.
They don't.
They just don't
They
give two
don't.
craps, and the parents do need to be held accountable. I think we've talked about this before. I am all for it. I think we even did a social media, I should say a Daily Dan poll on this, and everybody said, yeah, hold the parents accountable. Throw their ass in jail for all I care.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
I feel very passionate about this, actually. Because you know what, Joan? We raised our kids.
Right. My kids would never do something like this. Like,
You
never
know
in a
what?
million years.
Famous last words, though,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Okay, so there's a guy that I follow. I guess it's a guy, and he's on X, and he uses Go Nashville. He goes to the doctor recently, and this has happened to me too. And I had something to say about it when I went to the doctor as well. You know, you have to go to the online portal and sign up, and give them all your information before you get there. So you go on to the online portal, and you have to answer questions that you're like, what the heck is this? So the number one box here is gender identity. And the choices are unspecified, man, transgender female trans, gender queer, neither exclusively male or female, other, or choose not to disclose. Honestly, why are there that many choices? You're male or female.
What is CO, cause,
Right.
cell? What is that?
These are your pronouns, your preferred pronoun.
But I don't know what that is.
It's co and cosine, right? Now you're just missing tangent and you can do math.
What are you talking about?
It's clearly what they're ripping off there is the mathematical formula for some trigonometry.
I see. So you can also be yo's, yourself.
Yo. So whenever I walk
Yo-yo.
around, because sometimes I walk around the hallways, yo.
Yo.
Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Now apparently that's going to be offensive to somebody who is either identifies as yo or does not identify as yo.
Or you could be Z or Zer or Zerself.
Is it the appropriate reaction if someone addresses you and says, these are my pronouns? Like, I have no other way to reply other than shut the F up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't.
Well, so that is interesting. So if let's just say they hired somebody here at the radio station and
Yeah.
and somebody says,
I want to be known as.
I want to be known as cause self, whatever.
Address me as Zerself.
Can I just say hello?
Yeah.
Like I am not going to play that game. I'm just going to address you either by your name or
So there is a
whatever.
I'm going to magically become mute.
There's
Yeah.
also a
No, it's a
viral.
thing.
There's a viral video right now going around about a guy who works at a Chili's in Louisiana.
Oh, yeah, he got fired.
Did you see that? He got fired. Now, I can't play this video because he, goes off on a tangent filled with expletives. But he got fired because one of the other servers in the restaurant, her name is Madeline. And she decided one day that her name is no longer Madeline. It's Fish.
What is it?
Fish.
Fish. Like FISH?
Yeah. Yeah. And she changed her pronouns to he, him, too. Or they.
They, them.
So he addressed her as her name, Madeline, that he's been addressing her for, I think he said 4 years. He said, I'm not playing that game. I'm too old for this. We're not doing this anymore. I don't have to do this. Your name is Madeline. I'm going to address you by Madeline. So the company actually wrote him up. And in their write-up, they said that because he was calling her by her name, that Madeline was no longer able to do her work because she was like sick to her stomach.
Oh, stop it.
Because he wouldn't address her as Fish.
Okay, so I'm stuck on why would she name herself Fish?
Yeah.
Because if she were to identify as a dog or cat, it would be too commonplace nowadays.
Yes. So, yeah, there you go.
So instead of so to go with where Sam's going with this, instead of being like a what do they call them, a furry, she's like a gilly because fish has gills.
Yeah.
I-
Yeah.
Right.
Gilly.
You're telling me a story about some bad fish off air.
Oh, we're talking about how Joan refuses to say explosive diarrhea in her newscast, which is in the news.
Here's another one, marital status.
Just segues.
You can be married, unspecified. You can be annulled, common law, divorced, domestic partner, or interlocutory.
Interlocutory?
Yeah.
What is that?
It's when the International Space Station docks with a shuttle.
Well, okay, so my dirty mind, interlocutory, I think about like my honeymoon. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, interlocking. Okay, anyway,
So
moving right along.
I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, I don't know what interlocutory is.
In the legal field, it means it refers
Hey, baby, can we get interlocutory this weekend?
refers to a provisional, temporary, or non-final decision made by a court while a lawsuit is still ongoing.
Only if you have the temporary non-provisionary key.
Sounds really sexy.
So, what is it, Joan? Interlocutory is what?
A provisional, temporary, or non-final decision made by a court while a lawsuit is still ongoing.
But what,
So
does,
it's
that, what does that have to do with marriage?
Maybe it's a like a temporary hooking up situation.
But what does that have to do with a court?
I'm just reading what's online.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm asking.
Unfortunately, whether it's a divorce or some kind of civil suit, the court should be made aware of all relationships involved in a party.
So
Okay.
yeah, so you can choose that one too. If you're
I liked my version of interlocutory better.
in the end, this guy decided he wasn't going to go to that doctor anymore and chose a different doctor.
You know what? At the end of the day,
Yeah.
whether it's the dude from Chili's, please fire me. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
His lawsuit's going to be tremendous.
I was going to say, could he sue Chili's?
100%.
I think that he probably could.
He asked for at the very end. He asked. They said, "Do you want this printed or do you want it sent to your email?" And he's like, "Do both." Because this is going to be beautiful in front of my lawyer.
Print it so that I can use it for toilet paper when I have explosive diarrhea.
I knew you'd circle back to that.
So why would you say explosive diarrhea in a newscast, Joan? Are you
Because
like
I
too
don't
good
have
for it?
to.
Are you
Because
uppity?
Braden Ross did it for WSMV4. I recorded her little thing, and she says the word, so I don't have to. Who's smarter than me?
Okay. Well, clearly, Joan, nobody is smarter than you. Let's just be honest there.
right.
I'm not wishing this on you, knocking on the wood, but how funny would it be if she got it?
Yeah, right.
Hey,
and
Joan,
that would be
why are
something
you
that
sick?
happens to me.
Hey, Joan,
Yeah.
why are you sick? And she'll
Because
play a
I
little
have
audio bite from
explosive
WSLB.
diarrhea. All right,
There you go. We got her to say it. Speaking of which,
Joan, how are you playing the trumpet underwater?
Huh?
That's what that would sound like.
Okay.
so moving right along, because I don't understand any of what you just said. Chuck Schumer has gone
Yeah,
viral.
yeah, I love
So,
this.
Sam, can you set this up? Because I have not heard or seen this yet.
This is, well, he is addressing the floor, and, it wasn't just his voice he was
All right,
addressing. the
here we
floor
go. This is the audio and the video.
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now, on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration...
Okay, hold on.
Go back and do it again.
Hold on. Is that real?
Yes. It was 100% real.
It's totally making the rounds.
How do you know?
And here's the best part. Watch him grimace when it happens. Watch him. He looks up just a little bit, and he's containing a grin.
All right, I'm going to play this again.
He knows he did it.
Now, on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration... And we need...
I don't know, man. I don't know if that's real or not.
That's 100% a fart. 100%.
Joan?
I have to say, I
okay.
It might be.
Watch his eyes. Just watch his eyes when it happens, because I've done the same thing. It's called locking in. So you've just farted in public, right?
Right.
And instead of laughing at it, the feeling of laughter is rising up, but you lock in and you hold it down and you just grimace for a half a second.
All right.
And we need a complete investigation that's independent. Now, on Iran and the NDAA, when all the Trump administration...
You know what?
You can almost hear it.
He does smile a little bit when...
It passes.
You know what? It's like when I burp my grandkids, and they either you let one out or when they toot, they got a little smile on their face sometimes.
Now, notice he's got a lapel mic, right? That's where that is.
Yeah.
So imagine, in order for the lapel, think about microphone dynamics and how it's pointing upward. That must have been quite the...
Pretty loud.
Yeah.
Did he have Taco Bell before the meeting there?
I like the way he did it when he paused. Like, why would you do that?
Well, sometimes the way fartnomics work is you take a breath in and it pushes something out. So he pauses for a breath, and as that happens, the lower GI does its thing.
You know, thankfully, though, no one is behind him.
Right.
If you look at the video, like, there's nobody behind him. Maybe he, cleared everybody out because he knew it was going to happen. He got up to the microphone and was like, guys, I'm feeling a little gassy.
I wonder if that peeled the varnish off on that desk behind him.
Maybe.
It looks like nobody else is in the chamber behind him.
Yeah.
So...
You know,
he's probably feeling like he can get away with it.
You know what they need is a little cough button on those microphones they wear. Call it a fart button.
Well, but then we're left with the echoey audio of it just bumbling through the chamber.
All right, we got to go. It is 5:57. Joan's got the news at 6 o'clock. Joan.
Yeah, the changes, even if they are temporary, for ICE agents. Coming up here at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hey, if you're ready to save some money, my friends at Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling are buzzing with some of the sweetest deals of the season. Hey, it's Dan Mandis for Busy Bee. You buy a select high-efficiency HVAC unit, you're going to get a free air duct fogging and a UV light home treatment to help keep your home's air cleaner and fresher. How about some plumbing deals? You can save $800 on whole home water and drain line replacements, or take $500 off a Halo 5 descaler and a whole home water filtration system. They're always looking to save you money at Busy Bee. One more really cool thing that they're doing right now for the month of July, you join the Beehive Club and you'll get a free yearly Beehive membership to give to someone in your neighborhood. By the way, if you need some financing, they can help you with 0% financing for 18 months and no interest if paid in full within that time. Great savings as usual. From Busy Bee HVAC, call them. Tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-775-7833. 615-775-7833. Online anytime, busybeehvac.com. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling offers valid with approved credit where applicable. Restrictions apply. See website for complete details and disclaimers.
Good morning, 6 o'clock. Make that 6:02. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents have been told to temporarily stop most vehicle stops nationwide immediately after a pair of fatal shootings in Texas and Maine involving ICE agents. In both cases, the agents said the suspects drove their cars at them. Here's former Border Patrol Commander Greg Bravino on Newsmax.
I'll set the record straight for ICE. You ICE agents out there, nationwide and especially in Maine, fantastic job. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. Never cower to the left or the anarchist rioters.
The suspension will apply to most circumstances except cases involving serious criminal targets, according to U.S. media reports that cited unnamed law enforcement sources. Locally, a Hermitage woman said she was scammed out of over $1,000 in June by somebody pretending to be a Davidson County Sheriff's Office deputy. News 2 has this report online. They say there have been no arrests made in connection with this incident that happened in June. The scammers coerced the woman, her name is Christy Mathis, to send $1,200 to them through an online payment app. According to the police report, Mathis believed that the money would be used by the department for a family member's pretrial release into a drug program. Mathis said she realized she was defrauded after watching a similar story on TV. And she hasn't been refunded by her bank either. She says if someone breaks into your account, the bank will refund your money. But if you send it to a scammer, they will not. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com.
Futures suggest a higher opening after a day of gains for the major stock averages. The Standard & Poor's rose 0.4% Tuesday, while the Nasdaq picked up nearly 1%. The Dow, though, closed near its opening mark. A blue day for Big Blue. Shares in IBM plummeted 25% Tuesday after the company released preliminary second quarter results that fell short of analysts' expectations. CEO Arvind Krishna blames weakness in IBM's software business. At 3.5% year over year, inflation came in lighter than expected in June. But one side effect of that report, next year's cost of living adjustment for Social Security recipients has dropped a full percentage point to 3.7%. More than 24 former employees of Meta have filed suit against the social media giant, claiming the company used artificial intelligence in its latest round of layoffs. The plaintiffs say AI disregarded employee disabilities and pregnancies in violation of the law. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
And stock futures all pointing up this morning, but the Dow futures falling back a bit. They're now up just 5 points. That's the latest news. Stick around for your traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Hey, it's Dan Mandis from Super Talk 99.7 WTN and Nashville's Morning News. I'm here with Chris from USS, United Structural Systems. He's checking out my basement, my foundation, my crawl space to see if there's anything wrong. Fingers crossed. All right, so there's good news and there's bad news. The bad news is we found some cracks in my basement wall. The good news, I've got Chris here who's going to walk me through the next steps.
Yes, so unfortunately, your house has been subject to the pressure of the dirt. The hydrostatic pressure, heavy dirt pushes on foundation walls, and you got a little bit of what we call bowing. So that wall is pushed in a little bit. We have a lifetime warranty solution for that. So we install, usually in a day or two, this can be done in most situations. We install carbon fiber straps, which keep the wall from moving inward at any point in the future. It's a lifetime warranty for anybody that ever owns this house. So it's a quick and routine thing that we do, but it yields some long-lasting benefits.
It's a great selling point if you want to sell your house.
Absolutely. Good thing about our warranties is they're not only transferable, like the contract says, they're automatically transferred when you sell your house. So you don't have to sign any paperwork or even send us an email saying that you sold your house. Warranty would transfer to the next owner.
Got a crash in Nashville. It's on Hermitage Avenue at Decatur Street and involves some injuries. In Hartsville, you've got a closed roadway this morning. It's Green Grove Road at Pleasant Valley Road because of an overturned tanker cleanup. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.608 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends and welcome on into a Wednesday, July 15th. Wednesdays with Wilson. Starting a little bit earlier this morning. Brian Wilson joining us now as opposed to the 7 o'clock hour. Brian, how are you?
I appreciate you letting me come on a little early. Sometimes you get a doctor's appointment that you've been waiting on for in like 6 months, and when it finally shows up, you got to go do it. So I apologize for asking for an earlier hit time, but I appreciate you accommodating.
It's all good, man. We'll take you anytime. All right, so let's talk about Iran. And the president, of course, gave a great interview last night with Trey Yingst. I played some of that audio earlier. The president saying that, next week they could be going after, power plants and the like. What are your thoughts?
Well, it looks like this thing in Iran has heated back up again. I mean, the firing and the attacks against Iran have continued, and I don't see this thing getting resolved in any time soon. It looks like this is going to be dragged out for a little while. And of course, you look at that and you say, well, okay, I'm supportive of generally what we're doing in Iran because I think everybody says, well, it's expensive, blah, blah, blah. You know how expensive it would be if Iran started lobbing nuclear weapons. That's what I always come back to. And I think the president was justified to go in. I still think that it needs to be resolved. The Iranians are I still think it's a lot of this is left-hand, right-hand stuff within Iran, that we're negotiating with one group of people, but there are many other people within Iran who are vying for power in the power vacuum that comes after you knock out 3 levels of leadership. And I think there's still there's a lot of internal turmoil within Iran over who's going to be in charge. And so there are, no matter what kind of deal we cut with, say, the Speaker of the Parliament, there are going to be other elements within Iran who want to stir the pot and keep the thing going and are not ready to give up. So I think that it's just going to be a difficult thing to resolve before the elections. Inflation, by the way, if I could just say, is down because gas prices went down.
Yeah.
But this morning, because of what's going on in Iran, I noticed that the gas prices, at least the oil prices, are back up. Gas prices will follow. We were down into the upper 60s. Now we're back up to $80 a barrel for West Texas Intermediate crude. So, the inflation thing is everything when you talk about midterm elections. And the question is, can we get this resolved, and will this have an impact when people go to the voting booth for the midterm elections in November?
Well, I'll say this, Brian. There's a lot of celebrating amongst conservative circles yesterday when the numbers came out, and even President Trump, I've got the audio, I don't have it handy, but basically President Trump literally looked into the camera and said, make sure you remember this heading into the midterm elections. And I kind of grimaced because I know, and you know, that in June, the Strait of Hormuz was less restricted than it is now. It had periods of it was open, it was closed, it was less restricted, it was more restricted. But the bottom line is it was a lot more, the oil was flowing a lot more in June than it is right now. And I sort of grimaced when the president said, remember this, because we don't know where it's going to be in November when the midterm elections actually happen. And so my worry is that that'll turn into a really effective meme for the Democrats.
Well, if you are alert, cunning, and sly when it comes to observing politics, you know that they're generally, you look at where you are on Labor Day for a midterm election, and wherever we are with the economy, inflation, the price of oil and gas and all of that on Labor Day may well have a real impact on how people vote. But I've got to tell you, I keep looking at the numbers because, in a midterm election, the party in power usually gets, hammered.
Yep.
And we're the party in power right now. And so, but when you look at the Real Clear Politics average, Democrats are only up 5 seats right now in the House of Representatives. And that's not horrible, because it's not uncommon to lose 20, 30, even, I've come back to it. Obama lost 60 House seats. So to be only, have the Democrats leading only by 5 at this point is pretty good. And if the economy is buttoned up and a little better by the time we get to the elections, I think that is overcomable. So what I guess I'm saying is, yeah, all of this stuff is going on, but I don't see the makings of the big blue wave that you might expect in a midterm election.
Well, it'll be interesting to see. I've seen, you're right, Real Clear Politics. I've seen other polling that shows that the Republicans might be able to, because of the redistricting and all that, might be able to eke it out. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. I think part of what's going on, and I think you and I talked about it on Monday, is that people are getting a little spooked by the communist bent of the Democrat Party these days. And I think that people are looking at this and, they're saying, yeah, this is not what we want.
Democrats always overplay their hands. The liberals always go just a step too far, and the American people have, on many occasions, disabused the Democrats, the liberal Democrats, of the notion that they're on board with their progressivism and now their socialism. I just don't think that. I think they have gone a step too far, and I think it's going to bite them. I do. I really believe that to be the case.
It is 6:15. More with Brian Wilson coming up next on Super Talk. Time to check the roads. As far as weather goes, it looks like it's going to be sunny today, possible pop-up storms and a high of 90. Thanks for listening to Super Talk 99.7. Brian, so here we are yet again and talking about the possible elimination of daylight savings time. I guess the House passed. I'm going to be honest, I haven't really paid all that close of attention to this story, and I should, but I guess it passed the House of Representatives.
Well, yeah, it has already passed the Senate once, but it didn't pass the House the last time around, and yesterday it passed the House, and so the expectation is that it has at least a decent chance of passing the Senate, and if it gets through the Senate, the president has said that he would sign it, so it is entirely possible that we will never have to change our clocks again. They call this lock the clock, that we would stay on daylight saving time. But they give the states a lot of flexibility to do certain things with it if they disagree. But I think it's at least possible, more possible than perhaps it's been in a while, that daylight saving time may be our permanent time going forward. It'll be interesting to see. But we've seen this before, and it always falls apart. It seems at one point or another. But I think talk about. Again, this is one of those stories that impacts people's lives. It may not be the biggest story out there, but at the end of the day, that kind of story impacts people's lives more than a lot of other things we talk about.
Sure. I see this headline, and it's from Newsweek. The U.S. tried permanent daylight savings in 1974, and people hated it. Now, in 1974, Brian, I was 6 or 7. I don't know how old you were, but you're older than me.
I was a senior in high school.
Okay, so do you remember that? Because apparently they did this way back when, and people didn't like it.
It doesn't ring a bell with me, but, when I was a senior in high school, I was pretty brain dead, so not aware of things going on in the world around me that much.
Yeah, and you worked these hours for a long time. I'm sort of ambivalent to it because I go to bed early regardless. What do you think? Would Would you rather have longer days? I kind of like the evening time myself.
I like daylight saving time better than regular time. I do personally, because I like the evenings to be a little extended, and I love it when it's not dark at 5 o'clock or 4:30 in the afternoon. So in the wintertime, so I think I might enjoy that a little more. But honestly, time is a human construct, and does anybody really know what time it is?
Oh, there's Chicago reference. Very nice, Brian Wilson.
Does anybody really care is the question.
We'll have to wait and see whether this passes or not. All right, real quick. The president has a big speech on Thursday.
Yeah,
Apparently,
tomorrow.
it has to do with the 2020 election and the credibility or legitimacy of Georgia's 2 senators.
Well, yeah, I think it has to do with the 2020 elections and the things that Tulsi Gabbard uncovered as the director of national intelligence about the 2020 elections. According to some of the reporting I'm seeing here on Newsmax, but they're quoting MS Now as the major source on this. Trump did say that it had something to do with elections. But according to the reporting, it has to do with the 2020 presidential elections and things they have discovered. The president has long maintained that the 2020 election was a rigged election. And, what did they find? Did they have the proof? Did they have the documents? There's certainly a lot of evidence out there that has been uncovered about some of the things that the Democrats did during the Obama and the Biden years that, really, when you look back at them, look pretty egregious. Do they have the documentation to actually, bring it to a court and file charges against somebody? That'll be interesting to see. There's another, I'll just mention it in sort of the side note. There are those who have wondered if this speech might have something to do with UAPs, but at least my initial read on it is this is not that speech.
Apparently, the president is going to talk about election machine integrity, among other things.
Right.
Massive fraud.
Ratliff, the CIA director, is going to be there. The acting national director of national intelligence will be there with him. Kash Patel from the FBI. Mark Wayne Mullen from Homeland Security will apparently all be a part of this event tomorrow night. And again, he's being a little coy about what it is, but he did sort of give it away yesterday that he thinks that elections are very important and election integrity is very important. And we have some big news to be released on Thursday night. How much of that is hype and how much of it is real, hard to know, but it sounds like it's definitely about elections and election meddling.
Reuters says this, just real quick. By casting the 2020 election as illegitimate, they say Trump is laying the groundwork to challenge Republican losses and undermine Democrats if they win back power in Congress in November, multiple election experts have said. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what the president says. Does he bring the receipts? Is he bringing something? Okay, so is he going to lay it out there? And what does everybody do with it? What does anybody do with it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so now what? So we'll wait and see what the president has to say. Last one that we have on our list is a Gallup poll that says that we don't trust any major institution.
We are a jaded nation. We are a nation that is disgusted with the major institutions that are around us. For example, Gallup did a poll, and Gallup is sort of the gold standard of polling on this kind of stuff. And what they found is that only 28% of people trust the medical industry, the medical profession. 17% of us trust what they read in newspapers. 27% of us trust public schools. How about this one? The criminal justice system. Only 17% of people who were surveyed trust the criminal justice system. And I thought that was very interesting. TV news, 14%. Newspapers, I said 17%. Police are still pretty high. 45% of Americans still trust police.
Mm-hmm.
Only 33% of Americans trust the Supreme Court. Congress and the presidency both stuck at 27.
Wow.
So, I mean, we look at our major institutions and our governmental institutions, and Americans are just generally, by and large, frustrated with the way government is operating, and it's hard to know how that plays out in the midterm elections. But I do feel like we're in a period of time where many Americans are just disgusted with the institutions of government around us and don't trust them, and that's why you see, when you look at social media and stuff like that, you see so many people who seem to be like just angry all the time. I think the electorate is angry and disgusted.
One of the things that, this has been going down for years. I mean, we've had these conversations, Brian, you and I, for a long time.
Right.
And it's like every year they seem to be going down more and more. I think as far as, medical goes, I think that is the whole COVID situation. I think COVID and the forced vaccinations and all of that, I think that really did have an impact. We can talk about the newspapers and the media calling Trump supporters conspiracy theorists when we talked about the COVID and it coming from a lab in Wuhan. The media said we're a bunch of conspiracy theorists. Turned out we were right. I mean, I could go on down the line.
I no longer am quick to say that sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Right. Right.
I mean, I'm really afraid to call something a conspiracy. That sounds like a conspiracy theory to me, because how many times have we heard these outrageous things and we say, well, that's just a bunch of wackos who come up with some kind of conspiracy theory, and then you find out later that it was accurate.
Yeah.
So I no longer, I'm very careful to say, I don't know, that seems like a little crazy. When you hear something that seems wild and ridiculous, you wonder sometimes, is that real? It's turning out that some of the crazy stuff that you hear actually is real, and it really did happen.
Well,
so I'm being very careful about using the word conspiracy theory these days.
Here's my question. Okay, so just from a journalistic or media standpoint, let's focus on this. How do they get their credibility back? That's a big question, because you're right. And whether it's the 60 Minutes debacle or the Washington Post and the New York Times and their constantly accusatory reporting against Donald Trump and Russian collusion and all of that, I think that also has a big impact here.
Right.
How do these institutions get the trust back? I don't know that they do.
I don't know. We go through cycles in this kind of stuff, and generally what changes is a major event. Let's say like 9/11. After 9/11, our belief in institutions went up dramatically. And so if you have something big that happens, it can really change people's attitudes almost overnight. And so it'll be interesting to see, what would that thing be right now? I can't foresee it, but when these things happen, you do see sometimes a change in people, and they cleave to government. They come back to government. They look to government to solve this problem. And as I always say, government doesn't act; it reacts. And when it needs to react to something, sometimes that can change these numbers. But this is a heavy. I mean, our faith in public institutions has been low for a long time, but not this low.
Yeah, no, that you're right. All right, Brian, thank you very much. And
hey, real quick, do you know there are
yes.
coyotes in West Nashville?
No.
Apparently, they're sighting coyotes.
Like actual coyotes?
Coyotes in West Nashville.
I did not know that.
I'm reading it right here on Channel 2. So look out, folks. Set out your coyote traps.
And be careful of the bison.
Yeah, that's right.
All right.
Yeah, definitely stay away from the bison.
All right, see you later, Brian.
All right, buddy.
All right, see you. 626 on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk. I'm trying to figure out, Joan, where would coyotes hang out in West Nashville?
Apparently, they have been spotted in areas like Bellevue and near Knob Road.
Because I know the cougars hang out in the bars.
Wah, wah.
Whatever. All right, you people have no sense of humor.
Oh, my gosh.
626, Joan's got the news coming up at 6:30, Joan.
Yet Tennessee's set to execute a man, a convicted killer, but his lawyers are trying to get it pushed back. We'll tell you what's happening there coming up at 6:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. Of course, all this rain that we've had, possibly more expected today, you could end up with water in your crawl space or your basement. That moisture could be an indication that you have waterproofing issues. It also means that you need to call my friends at USS United Structural Systems. Now, this is the company in Middle Tennessee for all things waterproofing, but also foundation repair and concrete leveling. And if something does go wrong, it needs to get fixed. And if you need financing help, they are here with 3 different options. Number 1, a 10% discount if you pay in full. Or fix it now, pay it later with 18 months, no payment or interest, or you choose 36 months, no interest with low payment options for qualified homeowners. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out at 615-488-7855, 615-488-7855. USSTN.com is the website, USSTN.com. Dan Mandis here for my window company, Window Nation. If you're thinking about replacing your AC, check out your windows first because drafty windows force your AC to work overtime. New windows from Window Nation, they help keep your home comfortable and reduces the strain on your HVAC system. And the pros at Window Nation, they can help you get new energy-efficient windows at a great price. 50% off all window styles. That is the deal of the month, 50% of all window styles at Window Nation. You could also get 0 down payment and no payments or interest for 2 years. They're always looking for ways to save you money at Window Nation. They've got an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and a 96% customer satisfaction rating and over 45,000 5-star reviews. And I love the fact that Window Nation is a proud partner of the Wounded Warrior Project. Find them online. WindowNation.com. As always, tell them Dan told you to reach out. WindowNation.com. Dan Mandis here. I want to tell you about my friends at Ridgeside Canine Nashville. If you've got a dog that needs some training, you've got to call Ridgeside Canine Nashville. I do call them the Dog Whisperers. They've helped thousands of dogs and their owners over the last 25 years solve behavioral issues. They can help you as well. Aggression, potty problems, anxiety, basic obedience. Now, Ridgeside Canine Nashville, they can help you protect your precious pup with just about anything. Now, what I really love about Ridgeside Canine Nashville, they believe that owner education is just as important as dog training. And yes, long-term success with your dog begins with you. And Ridgeside Canine Nashville, they've got a lifetime support guarantee. They are there for you 24/7. This is a company that is veteran-owned and proven results. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-878-0380, 615-878-0380. Online at rsk9nash.com. The letter K, the number 9, rsk9nash.com. Ridgeside Canine Nashville.
Good morning. It's now 6:32, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got your forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. On Monday, an armed man was arrested near Capitol Hill, telling police that he was headed for the Supreme Court. Well, yesterday, 2 Supreme Court justices asked Congress for more money for security.
Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Elena Kagan pleading for more security funding, saying they face an alarming rise in threats. Barrett describing how she explained her bulletproof vest to her 12-year-old son.
I wanted to know what it was and why I had it, and I didn't know how to respond because maybe I lack imagination, but I didn't expect that performing this service was going to put me in the position of explaining to my children what a bulletproof vest was and why I had to wear one.
And Barrett describing a swatting incident at her home just last month.
That's ABC's Jay O'Brien. Tennessee is set to execute a man convicted of raping and murdering a motel maid in Kingston Springs in 1985. But Anthony Hines' lawyers are trying to get the execution delayed because he is in ill health. News 2's Kelly Milan reports the family of Catherine Jenkins are tired of waiting.
In court filings and letters, Hines' attorneys describe him as extremely frail. They say he has suffered strokes, is blind in his left eye, and cannot walk. But for Melissa Jenkins, none of that changes what happened to her mother, or the fact that her family has waited 4 decades for the sentence to be carried out.
The criminal gets all of the focus because, they're the one that's still alive and walking around. Everybody forgets about the victim and they forget about the victim's family.
Melissa was just 22 years old when her mother was murdered. Now, at 63, she says the case has lasted longer than she ever imagined.
Now, unless a court or Governor Lee intervenes, Tennessee is scheduled to carry out that execution at 10 a.m. on August 13th. That's the latest news. We've got your traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
Thank you, Joan. 634, Dan Mandis here for Brentwood Jewelry. Now, why should you go to Brentwood Jewelry for all your jewelry needs? Well, why not? They are, simply put, the best in Middle Tennessee. They've got incredible selections of watches for both men and women for any budget, and great selections of Rolexes, both new and used at Brentwood Jewelry. Also an incredible selection of pocket knives. They feature the William Henry collection. Now, if you're getting engaged, they've got everything from wedding bands to semi-mount engagement rings and a whole lot more. And guys, by the way, if you're looking for something for that special lady in your life, Brentwood Jewelry, they've got incredible bracelets and earrings and necklaces and a whole lot more. And again, all at great prices and selection, and yes, outstanding customer service as well. Brentwood Jewelry, they love America just like we do. You walk in, you got your flags all over the place. WTN might be playing on the radio. 7012 Church Street East, located in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. Be sure and tell them that Dan Mandis told you to reach out. Brentwood Jewelry, exceptional styles, exceptional deals, every day for over 50 years. Find them online, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Dan Mandis here from Mark Spain Real Estate. Listen, the real estate market has definitely shifted. If you are stuck in a home that you simply cannot sell, first thing you got to do, call Mark Spain. So if your open houses, they're being ignored, call Mark Spain. If you're tired of making costly repairs while your home goes unsold, call Mark Spain. Their guaranteed offer does indeed keep you in control. You can move when you want or need to move. You're going to get out of your home fast and with maximum profit thanks to Mark Spain's guaranteed offer. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate, they've got over 72,000 clients. They're the #1 most reviewed real estate company in America. 13,000 five-star reviews, cannot be wrong. Mark Spain Real Estate is the company that I recommend for selling your home. So call them right now and get out of your home fast and move on to the next chapter in your life. That phone number, 855-299-SOLD, 855-299-SOLD. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Okay, so we have an accident in Murfreesboro. It's on I-840, the southbound side before Sulphur Springs Road, exit 57. Actually, it looks like there may be police activity there, and the right lane is blocked off. Careful in that area. And then Hartsville, you've got that accident, an overturned tanker that's being cleaned up at the moment, and the roadway is closed at Green Grove Road and Pleasant Valley Road. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.639 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Welcome on into a Wednesday, July 15th. Hope you are doing well. And welcome on in to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. So the gubernatorial candidates' battle over polling continues. You know, yesterday, Joan, we were talking about the John Rose polling. Was it yesterday or Monday? Whatever it was, John Rose comes out with some polling and says that, you know, things are going really well for John Rose, and he's closing the gap on the Blackburn campaign and effectively ignoring Monty Fritz. So in turn, Marsha Blackburn, her campaign and her own internal polling is showing that things are going just great, rosy, if I might say. So this is from the Tennessee Star. With early voting for the Tennessee gubernatorial primary elections beginning this week, it's Friday, right? The campaigns for candidates, U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn, John Rose, releasing internal polls offering sharply different pictures of the state of the Republican primary race. So remember that John Rose, his campaign, released their own polling that showed that Blackburn was down to 44%, and John Rose was at 29%. And if I'm recalling correctly, there was a 15% that were undecided. The latest survey, as far as Marsha Blackburn goes, she has released her own. And by the way, remember what I said yesterday, which is, you know, whose polling do you trust? I mean, we just spoke to Brian Wilson. He was talking about the public's trust against, major institutions. I wonder if that includes polling. Hey, Sam, let's do a real quick Daily Dan poll. And I'm going to ask Joan this question. Joan, do you trust any polling anymore from anywhere?
None.
Thank you.
Absolutely none.
This might be, Joan, 100% to zero. People do not trust polling.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, listen, it gives me something to talk about. So Senator Blackburn comes out with her own polling, and it shows her at 51%, John Rose at 20%, Monty Fritz at 12%. So I don't know if you believe I'm not talking to you, John, just generally speaking. Do you believe John Rose's polling, or do you believe Marsha Blackburn's polling? Whose polling do you believe? If Monty Fritz, by the way, is only at 12%, and by the way, interactive polling is who Senator Blackburn uses, and McLaughlin, I guess, is who John Rose uses. Because everybody's got their different, polling companies and so forth. But go to YouTube, watch us on Super Talk TV, and you tell me, with all of these dying trust in our major institutions, do you believe the polling out there? I don't. I fell out of favor with polling for a long time. Whatever. I think it depends on how you ask the question. All of those different aspects that go into who do you ask. I'm going to give you an example, Joan, a real life example. All right. So let's say that some company wants to find out how Republicans feel about Donald Trump. Okay. So let's say a polling company wants to find out, how do Republicans feel about Donald Trump? Well, then all they got to do is find some Republicans who are like Anna Navarro on The View.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because she calls herself, she's really not, but she calls herself a Republican, but she's really not.
She's not.
So you just find a bunch of those folks, and then all of a sudden, you have the narrative, you have the story related to your poll that Donald Trump is falling out of favor with the Republican Party, right? So that's how it works.
3076. I trust the poll at my local gentleman's club more than I trust any kind of government poll.
By the way, thank you, Sam, for distracting me. Have you seen the viral video of the woman who had a
oh yes
pole? What do you call it? A pole?
A dance pole.
A dance pole. In her apartment or house or whatever it is. She had it for, I guess, exercise. People have these dance pole things.
Yeah,
it's like you'd see
classes
in a strip joint. And so she had one in her house, and she's on it, and she broke it, and it like broke the ceiling, and water then is all over the place. I mean, it
she
is
broke the pipes in the ceiling.
It is so funny.
And the apartment flooded.
Was she hefty?
She
Joan?
was pretty, yeah.
Okay, so she had some back.
Do I need to find this clip?
If you want, go ahead. Knock
Yeah, it's
yourself
pretty
out.
funny.
Anyway, I don't want to get distracted. Although I found that just like LOL out loud. All right. The Beacon Center of Tennessee poll released in May. Just talking about polling, then I'm going to move on. A Beacon Center of Tennessee poll released in May found Blackburn with 63% of the support, Rose with 10%, Monty Fritz with only 5%. One of the things that I would say is that I think that some of this polling is accurate when it comes to like Monty Fritz, for example, because I think that Monty has been doing a really good job of connecting with some voters. And I think that if you see, for example, Monty Fritz a couple of months ago was at 4%, and now he's at like 14, 15%, whatever. I think that it's because he has done a good job of, he appeared with me for an hour, and so did Blackburn, and so did John Rose. But Monty's done a good job at connecting with Tennesseans through interviews and that kind of thing. I think that, and that may pull away from Rose, because I think that Fritz and Rose, they are both competing for the anti-Blackburn vote, if you will. I know that there was a Tennessean, and doggone it, I'm upset with myself now because I read the Tennessean. I know, Sam, I know I'm throwing a lot at you. Can you look up, or Joan, there was a Tennessean poll that was out, I want to say fairly recently, and it did show that Marsha Blackburn was still doing really, really well. And so I think, again, the polling is all over the place, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I do find it interesting.
31-point lead, that one?
Yeah, when was that?
That was actually posted 17 hours ago.
Okay, can you get into some details?
Yeah. So it says internal polling shows Marsha Blackburn still holds a 31-point lead in the Republican primary among 800 Republican primary voters. 51% said that they would vote for Blackburn. 20% supported John Rose, and 12% supported Monty Fritz. 16% undecided.
Right.
Blackburn's team released internal polling days after her rival Rose released a data showing the race within 15 points.
So if you take, here's what I take away from that, and I missed some of those numbers, but if those numbers are correct, then Marsha Blackburn has the majority, period, where if you add the support of John Rose and Monty Fritz, it still does not equal where Blackburn's support is?
Yes.
Then you tack in the 15%, then even if John Rose got that 15% or Monty Fritz got that 15% of the undecided votes, it still doesn't take away from Blackburn's, you said 51%?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but that's,
I'm not saying it's over. And okay, watch this. Hey, Joan, Sam's getting defensive because he's such a Monty Fritz fan.
No, I'm
Go
just
ahead, Sam.
talking about not trusting polls.
Right.
That polled 800 people.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like to know, okay, was this one county? Was this two counties next to each other where the financial statuses are the same? Because I could imagine if you go to a place like Williamson County, you could very easily find out of 800 people, 51% are going to vote for Marsha Blackburn.
Joan, what day is Election Day? Do we know? I don't know. It's in
primary?
August something. No, the actual Election Day. No, the primary. The primary.
That's what I thought you meant. Primary election day.
I think it's August 6th.
Tennessee.
I think it's August 6th.
Why do they want to give me a calendar? Why don't they just say what it is?
I think it's August 6th.
Yeah.
Whatever day the next day is.
August 6th. You are right.
Okay, so on August 7th, Sam, I'm going to go ahead and ask that you have the day off. Because I don't think that you're going to be able to handle if Monty Fritz loses. Because he's going to be
handle it.
I every time Monty comes up, you start
I'm
getting
talking about
you start
polling
getting
here.
hearts, above your head and everything like we used to see in the cartoons. I like Monty Fritz. I like John Rose.
I was having a conversation with my fellow Fritz fanatic, the Fritz fanatics we call ourselves.
The Fritz
Chris Hand
fanatics,
and I,
yes.
Yesterday, just off air, about we have not had someone that people have gotten that excited about. I don't get excited about politicians.
In other words, you and Chris.
People that are voting for Monty
I'm pretty
Fritz.
excited about him too.
Yeah, there's. You mentioned it. His ability to connect, right? That's.
I like Monty Fritz.
Gonna go far.
I thought he did. Do you remember that day that he did an interview with me? And I'm not going to say that I was cynical on Monty because I wasn't. I just didn't know a lot about him. But I thought that he did do a really good job, and he impressed the living daylights out of me. So I like Monty Fritz. By the way, so on Friday morning, this is going to be a bear of a task, but I'm grabbing audio from all three of my interviews with Blackburn and Rose and Monty Fritz, and I'm going to play all of their answers together. I'm not going to get any sleep on Thursday because you folks don't know how big of a task that is, but I'm going to do it. It's not going to be video. It's only going to be audio because I don't have the time to do it from a video standpoint, but I think it'll be as close as we can get to a debate. And by the way, if you want to see those three interviews that I did, hour-long interviews with all three gubernatorial candidates, they're all on my Facebook feed. Just you may have to scroll down just a tad. All right, so where are we at with people not trusting the polls?
98% say no.
I want to know who the 2% are.
I do too.
You know, should we open up the phone lines? Now, just real quick. If you're among the 2%, I want you to, and I'm not going to try to shame you, but if you're among the 2% who trust the polls, I want you to call and tell me why you trust the polls. Because maybe I could learn something.
Yeah.
You know, maybe there's something that I'm not seeing, or maybe that you're not seeing, or, I would find it hard to believe that Sam would not see something, but, maybe we could all learn something from the 2%. I'm not hating and I'm not shaming, but if you're among the 2% that you actually trust the polls, call me right now, 615-737-9986.
Do you remember how bad the polls were when President Trump was elected in 2016? I mean, there wasn't a single news organization out there that had a polling that would suggest that he had an ice cube's chance in heck of winning the primary or the election itself.
Do you remember when
they kept on saying that there's no pathway? There's no pathway.
Do you remember that, if I remember right, the glass ceiling that Hillary was going to have and it was going to break or whatever?
Yeah.
And then it was like, wait, Hillary canceled her event? Wait, what? And
that was the first trolling from President Trump, because do you remember he went and bought all the fireworks that they were going to have at like half price?
Did he do that?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because they were going to set him off at the Javits Center in New York, and they decided, of course, not to do it because she lost. So he went and bought her fireworks and set them off.
Okay, now I got to ask this question.
Yeah.
Were you at WTOP when that happened?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you folks that don't know Joan's history, Joan was a highfalutin anchor in Washington, D.C. at the biggest news station. There's a difference between a news station and a talk station. We are a talk station. WTOP is a news station, and you were the morning drive anchor. But, I mean, TOP is, like all of Washington, D.C., very leftist.
Very.
What was the mood like when you were, because Joan was like the one voice of reason amongst the entire staff.
Do you know that we actually had a meeting They called an all-staff meeting, and we went into like the boardroom, and everybody sat down. There were tears. There were people saying that they were scared. There was one girl who actually like took off from work, took a sabbatical from work because she couldn't take it. That's
going to be Sam if Fritz loses.
Yeah, it was the most insane. And I'm looking around going, people. It's an election. Like,
you people are nuts.
The people on the right when Obama won.
Yeah.
Like, especially the second time, we were like, "Are you kidding me? You did it again."
Mm-hmm.
And
but you could still function.
Well, I could function. I came to work.
Yeah.
There was one girl at that place who said she saw people wearing MAGA gear walking down her street. And she decided she can't come to work that day because she was scared to go outside.
Robbie Bass says Marsha Blackburn is one of the 2% that believes the polling.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Oh, let's see, 94-21. Let me see if he's being mean to me. Dan claims that he does not support any candidate, but yet he would throw himself in front of a train for Marsha Blackburn.
Would you throw yourself in front of a train for Marsha?
I wouldn't throw myself in front of a little toddler wagon for any politician. I don't know why 94-21 says that. I've gone out of my way to be fair to everybody. And by the way, I'm done with interviews. I am DUN done. I'm not interviewing anybody else. I've been very interview heavy the last couple of months. So
somebody said 80-23. Monty is a slimy snake? What?
Wow.
Where'd you get that from?
A slimy snake. Okay.
Wow.
1393 brings up, Monty is supposedly about less government, yet he said he would outlaw certain sexual acts between consenting adults. Government in the bedroom, weird and no one's business. He knows he can't do that. He's anti same-sex marriage and all that. The Supreme Court has upheld that. It's not going to change. But he's positioning because we have a group of people that want to trans your kids, want to sexualize your kids. So he's just going to come out and position himself as, I'm against all that. And if there's anything I can do to legislate against doing that stuff to kids, I'm all for it.
But there's a difference between like people who are gay and trans and kids. I mean, there's a clear difference between those two.
But it was a slippery slope. Remember, we just wanted to get married. We just wanted to be accepted.
Yeah.
And some people took that and ran with it.
We just wanted to be able to have the benefits of our spouse.
Mm-hmm.
But the Supreme Court has ruled on gay marriage, and it's not going to be changed unless you can find some sort of a new case to bring to the Supreme Court. And I don't think this Supreme Court, with its current makeup, I don't think that even if gay marriage came back in front of the Supreme Court, I don't think that they would change it. But, you know, the changing of the trans kids, I mean, that is just horrifying on so many levels. So anyway, I think one of the people are definitely, you guys have lost your minds. Why have we lost our minds? Let's see. So I'm looking, if Marsha wins the primary, I will vote for Green in the general. Hey, should I try to get Jerry Green on?
Oh.
No. I'm asking the question. Should I try to get, if she's going to win for the Democrats, should I try to get Jerry Green on?
Yeah.
If you want to repulse a large group of people, sure.
I'm asking a question. Now, I would have a hard time not arguing with her, but I don't know anything about her. Like, I don't know how nutso leftist she is. Is she for, like, for example, is Jerry Green for trans and kids? That's what I want to know. Is Jerry Green for trans and kids? Now, I happen to be for medicinal marijuana, so she and I would actually agree on that. But is she for open borders? Is she for, Tennessee being a sanctuary state? Those are the things that I want to know.
Yeah, well, she wants expanding paid family medical leave, labor rights, so she's, pro-union stuff, reproductive freedom and marginalized communities, repealing the abortion ban, protect women's health care, fight the anti-LGBTQ plus legislation, support immigrant communities.
Can I ask this question? So when they say, this is age old, but protect women's health care, meaning killing babies?
Yeah,
obviously. All right, we got to go. 6:57. Jones got the news at 7. Joan.
Yeah, coming up, a sex scandal rocks Metro Police. It's coming up at 7 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 6:57, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. One of your biggest priorities in life is to protect your family. And if the power goes out in your neighborhood, you need to get it back on quickly. You need the Generator Supercenter. You've seen the horror stories of power being out for days or weeks on end. The Generator Supercenter provides backup home standby generators at a terrific price and outstanding customer service as well. Matter of fact, go to their website right now and find out how you can save $500. Tell them Dan Mandis told you to reach out. It's GeneratorSuperCenterofNashville.com and see how you can get started. Now, they feature turnkey installation, certified plumbers and electricians, and service after the install, and a whole lot more. So the power goes out in your neighborhood. You've got a backup power generator, so your power is going to go right back on and your family is protected. At the Generator Supercenter, they also have their generators made right here in America. So call them 879-1952, 615-879-1952. Don't forget to check out their website, GeneratorSuperCenterofNashville.com, and see how you can save $500.
Good morning, 7:02. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. The U.S. launched more airstrikes against Iran overnight as President Trump reimposed a blockade of all Iranian ports. He spoke with Fox News about his future plans for Iran.
Next week, it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
President Trump also saying yesterday that Middle East leaders have come up with a better way to pay for security for the Strait of Hormuz rather than the tolling issue. They'd like to invest in the U.S.
And we would like to invest tremendously in the United States as opposed to charging a fee. And I like that, actually, because I don't think anybody should be able to charge a fee for the strait or for any other strait relationship.
Now, meantime, Admiral Brad Cooper, the head of U.S. Central Command, said that Iran attacked 7 commercial ships over the past week, killing a dozen civilian crew members. A sex scandal has hit Metro Nashville Police Department. A female officer has been fired after admitting to having an affair on the job. Here's News 2's Andy Cordan.
Lisa Vidrios and the unnamed male officer, who's an 18-year veteran, reportedly had sexual relations multiple times while on duty, in police cars, and here at Madison Middle School, where the 37-year-old served as a school resource officer. According to the report, Vidrios and the veteran officer had sex in Vidrios's SRO office while children were present in the schoolhouse. According to the OPA report, there is overwhelming evidence that the officers had sex in a Metro building and the male officer's police car. That evidence includes video, pictures, and text chains.
And News 2 reports that male officer has not been interviewed yet. 5 men busted in a human trafficking investigation in Sumner County, and police say 3 of them are illegals from Cuba. Immigration and Customs Enforcement issued detainers for all 3 men, said they were released into the country under the Biden administration. 9 people were identified as possible victims. They've been offered services through a local victim services organization. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management online at beaconcm.com. Stock futures all pointing up this morning, but no big changes. Dow futures are plus 3. The NASDAQ futures, well, they're up 124. S&P futures are plus 8 points. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather. Next, I'm Joan Jones, WTN News. Got a crash on 24 westbound in Whites Creek. This is at the Clay Lick Road overpass. Talbot's Corner, 65 south. A crash just before I-65 downtown exit. And then in Hartsville, still closed on Green Grove Road at Pleasant Valley because of an overturned tanker. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.708, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends. Hope you are doing well, and welcome on in to your Wednesday, July 15th, and appreciate you being here. Joan, you ever heard of the pro-illegal immigration lobby?
Well, I know there's organizations that do so.
Basically, the way that I see it is there is a bunch of lobbyists or businesses that use illegal labor.
Yeah.
And so Tom Tillis, Tom Tillis is one of the Rhino 4. I've been talking about the Rhino 4, the Republicans that won't vote for the Save America Act.
Yeah.
You've got Mitch McConnell. You've got Tom Tillis.
Well, we only have a little bit of Mitch, but go on.
Wow.
Oh my God.
I'm just gonna let that hang right there, man. We just gotta okay, Joan. What percentage of Mitch do we have? I'm thinking he's about maybe 15%.
Yeah, I go 15.
Would you go 15?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's his van coming to pick him up.
Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, those are the Rhino 4.
Yeah.
So Tom Tillis is walking through the hallways of the Capitol building.
This Sarah Gonzalez?
Yeah, have you heard this?
So this was part of what I was going to do at the 5:30.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we're on the same boat here. I get this.
Yeah, this is brutal.
I love this.
Senator, you've received almost $700,000 from the illegal labor lobby. Is that why you voted against the Save America Act?
Can you tell me who the illegal labor lobby is?
Yes, it's contractors, general contractors, hospitality companies, industries, construction companies and industries.
Do you know?
So you're talking about, and we do radio, so I got to talk about what is on the screen. So he says, who is the illegal labor lobby? Who is this? Is this the lady that Chris Hand has on a show?
No, that's a different Sarah.
Okay. So by sector, they say Tom Tillis, who has voted against the Save America Act, he's received $294,000 from ag, right? So agriculture uses illegal aliens. Everybody knows that. Construction lobbyists. $109,750 is what they have donated to the campaigns of Tom Tillis. Hospitality, $194,000 is what he has received from hospitality, and elder care, $75,500. Those are just some of the industries that have paid Tom Tillis a boatload of money to vote against the Save America Act.
Industries, construction companies and industries.
What do you know about the which Save America Act are you talking about?
The one that you voted against, sir.
Okay. And so you're asking me if I voted, I was against it because
you're receiving almost $700,000 from these lobbyists.
Do you have any idea what a remarkably silly question that is?
Is that a silly question? Like, I don't know if it's a silly question. I think it's a fair question. You're voting, and again, I'm just reacting to this, right? But you're voting against the Save America Act, Senator, which would curtail illegal immigration in a big way. It would also, of course, clear the voting rolls and all of these other things. but it would, by and large, work really hard to solve our illegal immigration problem, again, among many other things. So she simply is asking a question, and he won't respond.
I think it's a pretty important one. I think your constituents want to know why you're betraying them.
Some math. You know what my election cycle, the total all-in election cycle cost was in 2020? It's $300 million. Do you honestly believe that I would make a policy decision based on that?
I don't know why you're betraying your constituents.
Who do you work for?
I'm independent.
Okay.
Why are you betraying your constituents? Why are you betraying your constituents, Senator?
Good luck on the clicks.
We just want secure elections, Senator. You're preventing us from getting that. You're betraying America.
Good luck on your job.
There she goes.
Good luck on yours.
There she goes. All right.
Tell us to say $700,000 is not enough. He's a sellout, but not that amount because he receives $300 million. If I were an honest person and I were answering that question, I would just say, I'm not a sellout to anyone. I don't sell out for any amount of money. But Tom Tillis says he sells out, but not for that amount.
So there you go. I mean, I think it's a fair question. Tom Tillis, obviously, So did he say that he? I didn't get the whole $300 million thing, Joan. Now, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Yeah.
So what did he mean by that's not how much
he was saying that
received in donations, is it?
No, he was saying that, hey, my expenses are $300 million. You think what did she say?
About 700,000.
Yeah, you think $700,000 is going to make me want to jump at that? No, I would go for the whole $300 million, but $700,000, that's a pittance.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
Did he answer the question?
No.
I was going to say he didn't. He literally did not say no. That's not why I'm not voting for the Save America Act. And I don't know. The four of them have different. And I don't have it up, but the four have different reasons why they say that. Sam, will you look up and try to get it, if you would, before we come back from traffic? Why is Tom Tillis saying that he won't vote for the Save America Act, which will secure our elections, prevent illegal aliens from voting, so on and so forth? Can you? It's got to be up there on ChatGPT somewhere. Real quick, it is 7:15. Time to check the roads on WTN. All right, 7:15. As far as your weather goes, sunny today, possible pop-up storms, and a high of 90. Appreciate you listening to Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7. All right, so why does Tom Tillis say that he will not vote for the Save America Act?
Tillis argues and states that there is a lack of time and resources to realistically roll out major changes to election protocols, such as new proof of citizenship requirements and voter ID mandates within months of an election. So he calls it a logistical impossibility.
That sounds like BS to me. Because, we've been trying to get this passed for, quite some time.
And what's really funny is that's not what the Democrats are saying on why, it won't go through. They're claiming all of the negative things it will impact and not how it's unrealistic, which would be a perfectly valid point to make. But
Right.
I've got audio, if you want it, from Senator Alyssa Slotkin on basically why they're happy it's not going through.
All right.
Administration to rig our democracy so that it would be hard for any Democrat in any state to win any election.
Yeah,
there you go.
Saying the quiet part out loud.
Mm-hmm. Well, we do have some illegal immigration news. We have some ICE news, and I've got some video here in a second here, Sam. So apparently now the Trump administration has decided that we are going to suspend most vehicle stops related to ICE over the last couple of days. We've seen a couple more shootings of illegal aliens at the hands of ICE, one in Houston and one in Maine. Both episodes saw the guy in question drive their vehicles towards law enforcement. I think the president, I think what's happening is he's getting weary of these headlines. Even if the shooting was warranted by ICE standards, both of these guys were shot because they were driving their cars towards law enforcement. That is the bottom line. But you've got a media and, a Democrat Party who they take advantage of these situations. By the way, nobody wants to see anybody get shot and killed. I mean, that is most certainly true. But part of what is going on, all right, is in Maine, you have Senator Susan Collins in the middle of a reelection campaign, and a tough one at that. So now she has to deal with a controversial shooting in her state executed by her party, by the Republican Party. So in Maine, she's, hanging on by a thread, it would appear. And so I think that is part of what's going on, is Trump is saying, we need Susan Collins to win in Maine so that we can keep that Senate seat. So we have to look like we're doing something. And so what we're going to do is suspend the ICE vehicle stops. Tom Homan was on Fox News, and he talked about this.
Well, that decision was made by the secretary along with leadership at ICE. But look, it's not a policy change. It's a temporary pause. Look, we had the last couple of shootings, ICE leadership along with DHS believes they want to look at these last couple of incidents and look, is there something that could have been done better? Is there any training that can be improved? Or it's simply ICE doing their job and bad things happen when people don't comply with law enforcement officers. So I think it's going to be a short pause, and I'm confident that ICE is well trained in vehicle stops, and you're going to see us keep moving forward. But this is just a temporary pause where they look at the incidents. But
That's Tom Homan, and you know what? He's making a lot of sense. He is absolutely making a lot of sense. And clearly, one of the things that Homan is dealing with is he is frustrated. And the reason why he is frustrated is because he knows exactly what is going on the streets across America. You look at, and I went through a lot of these incidents. You got Alex Preddy shot and killed as he was interfering with ICE agents. Renee Good shot and killed as she was driving towards law enforcement. Don't forget, she was also harassing and taunting ICE and law enforcement, trying to prevent them from doing their jobs. 3 or 4 others, they all had one thing in common, all these illegal aliens, and that is that they refused to comply. They refused to get out of the car. They refused to stop the car, allegedly driving towards ICE agents and law enforcement. It is what they do. And witness accounts have backed those accusations. So, I don't know what to tell you. It is a little frustrating that the president is suspending these ICE vehicle stops. I understand from a political standpoint why he's doing it, but these shootings, at least to me, they were justified. And as Tom Homan says, these are only a temporary pause. We'll have to see where it all goes. But you know what? When people do bad things, then bad things happen. You've got a bunch of illegal aliens that are driving, or evildoers, like Renee Good and Alex Preddy, who are trying to stop the ICE agents from doing their jobs, and bad things happen. It's a terrible thing, because I don't want to see innocent people. I'm not going to say innocent, but I don't want to see people shot and killed. But when you do stupid things, stupid stuff happens.
But let me say this too. I hear a lot of noise right now. This is going to affect ICE arrests, and it's not going to. Look, I've done this for a long time. You can when that alien leaves his home before he gets into the car, you can arrest him then. You can wait till the vehicle gets to the destination and arrest him then. Every case is different. Now, we know vehicle assaults are up over 3,400%. So if we can arrest that alien outside that vehicle and take that 2-ton weapon away from them, that's good in some instances. Other instances, we're going to still need to do vehicle stops or a significant criminal. You may want to stop him in a desolate area before he gets downtown. You certainly don't want to stop a criminal alien near a school that in the middle of recess with 100 kids in the playground. Right. There are so many circumstances these agents need to look at to make these decisions. So I do not think this short pause can affect the arrest, because the alien can be arrested before or after that vehicle. But this is, what I understand, talking to the director of ICE, it's a short pause just to make sure we're doing the right thing.
There you go. It's a short pause just to make sure that we are doing the right thing. And sometimes you got to take a step back and you've got to reflect. And that is, at least according to Tom Homan, that is what we are doing. There is a story out there, Joan. I don't know if you heard this.
Yeah.
In Florida. So people are protesting this illegal alien's death in Florida. You know what happened? So ICE tries to stop a vehicle, and we've all seen this from the helicopter, right? all 4 doors of the vehicle fly open, and all these guys start running. One of them runs right into or in front of a semi.
Oh, no.
Dude gets flattened, right? I mean, he's obviously dead. Well, you ran into the street into a semi, man. Like, so people are now out there protesting this guy's death. I mean, it was his decision to run into a very busy highway, which, I mean, if there's semis, then it's got to be a busy highway. Okay, uncalled for, and you can stop right now, young man.
But kind of funny.
No, it's not funny. We're not laughing at this. We're saddened by all of it. You don't run into the street.
I'm
I don't
sad
care.
for the truck driver. He's traumatized from
Do you know what? The truck driver is traumatized.
Innocent party and all of this.
He stopped.
Tooting my horn over that.
And he tried to, give the guy, try to resuscitate him. And he was unsuccessful, but the truck driver did try to render aid.
The big question is, was it a side street or a highway?
I don't know. Does it matter?
Speed
I guess
limits.
it does. I guess it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you get hit at 40, survivable. You get hit at 70.
Mark Wayne Mullen saying in a statement that we need to cease all non-urgent vehicle stops. The White House referred a request for comment to ICE, which said in a statement that the agency would not discuss law enforcement tactics. Homan did say yesterday he is tired of the media saying that deportations are down. And he kind of went after it yesterday. This is Tom Homan.
Let me address that for me. I'm sick and tired of reading about how the administration's lost their guts with, mass deportations. And do you know June, last month, ICE arrested more aliens than any month in the history of the agency. So, people say ICE is not serious about their job. Last month, the most aliens arrested in the history of the agency, more than last year. More than when you had the FBI, ATF, DEA, Border Patrol, ICE all out there. ICE by themselves, with their 287G partners, had the most arrests in history of the agency.
I mean, that is huge. And yeah, I like that.
Hey, there's something else that just happened this morning.
What happened?
President Trump is out with a Truth Social on the policy to stop Border Patrol from pulling over cars.
What's he saying?
He said the great men and women of ICE are doing a great job, one that has to be done. Crime is way down in America in many cases with numbers that haven't been seen in decades. The open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden allowed 25 million people to pour into our country unchecked and unvetted. Many were criminals, and we have to get them out. In order to do this, we must be strong, tough, and smart, and we cannot give up one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. Once we do, we are playing right into the criminals' hands. The radical left Democrats would like to see this done, but it won't happen on my watch. ICE, be judicious, fair, and smart, and go back to doing your very important job. So he is basically telling Mark Wayne Mullen, I don't know why you're doing this. Yes, get back to work.
But knock it off and start pulling people over.
Yeah. That was just this morning.
Mark Wayne Mullen is having a bad day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But listen, when the boss tells you that you need to do something, then you need to do something. And so he is going to apparently allow ICE to start pulling people over again. And the president is right, by the way. If you're if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you will see that I have posted a graphic. It's a meme. I don't know what you want to call it, but it is, dozens of photographs of people that have been killed by illegal aliens. That is why we need to do exactly, Joan, what President Trump is doing. We need to protect the people of America, and we need to be reminded of people like, Laken Riley and Rachel Marin.
Yes.
And all of these people that have been killed by illegal aliens. That is why we need to do what we're doing. And can I just say this, is that you've got all of these, as Donald Trump said, you've got all of these Democrats that are out there protesting the illegal alien, for example, that ran in front of a semi running from ICE. Where were they when all of these people were killed?
The Democrats.
They were nowhere to be found. So once again, when we talk about the left putting illegal aliens over the lives of American citizens, well, this is a classic, perfect example of how they do just that. It is 7:27 on Super Talk 99.7. Joan has the news coming up at 7:30. Joan.
Yeah, the U.S. military has just dialed up the heat on Iran this morning. We'll tell you how coming up at 7:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you, Joan. 727 Super Talk 99.7 WTN, the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Listen, if you've been suffering from chronic back pain, chronic knee pain, maybe you've got back pain, neck pain, whatever, the Wellness Institute of Nashville, they can help you like they've helped so many others across Middle Tennessee. So whether it's non-surgical, spinal decompression, or the brand new Medical Bay 1, they've always got the latest and greatest technology to help you get off the sidelines and back in the game. Now, they did it for me years ago. They can do it for you right now. This Medical Bay 1, they've got a great deal going on. You mention my name, you get $33 off each and every visit. It is the Epic Spinal Special. As far as Medical Bay 1, what is it, you may ask? Well, what it does, it uses red light technology and stem cell stimulation for tissue regeneration and healing. So have an active summer and feel like the person you used to be, courtesy of the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Call them, tell them I told you to reach out, get that $33 off. 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009, painisbad.com. Dan Mandis here. Listen, if you feel like you're suffering from low T, reach out to my friends at the Low T Center. Now, you can start with a free T test, stay on treatment for 90 days, and guess what? You get $250 back. That's right. It is the Low T Center's 250 for 250. It is going on right now, again, at the Low T Center. So listen, guys, if you feel like you've lost a step or two, maybe energy levels are down, brain fog, and a lack of motivation, don't ignore the signs of low testosterone. Do yourself a favor and go to fixmylowt.com and get tested, get answers, and get your life back. Now, you deserve it. You know, a lot of guys, maybe you're embarrassed to go get tested for low T. It does happen to a lot of guys. The smart ones seek answers and get the help that they need. Low T Center is the place that you need to go. Now, don't forget that great deal. You can start with a free T test. Stay on treatment for 90 days. You get $250 back. It is the Low T Center's 250 for 250. It is going on right now. Visit fixmylowt.com and book your free T test. Offer ends on July 31st. That's fixmylowt.com. Terms and conditions apply.
Good morning. It's now 7:33. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got your forecast and traffic still coming up. The U.S. military has hit Iran hard this morning. Here's NBC's Keir Simmons.
U.S. Central Command says it has launched a new wave of strikes as of 6 a.m. Eastern this morning. This is the language CENTCOM is using. The strikes are designed to further degrade military capabilities Iranian forces have used to attack commercial shipping. Craig, Axios now reporting, citing three sources with knowledge that President Trump held a Situation Room meeting Tuesday to consider a major new offensive against Iran. And in an interview, President Trump threatening to target Iranian civilian infrastructure, including energy targets, unless Iran agrees to negotiate.
Now, Iran claims more than 30 people were killed in this morning's strikes. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche is set to be grilled by the Senate Judiciary Committee today as he seeks confirmation to secure his role on a permanent basis.
While he was easily confirmed as Deputy Attorney General last year, Blanche's path to the top job of the Department of Justice is expected to be much harder. After serving as Trump's former personal defense lawyer, Blanche's tenure at the Department of Justice has been defined by controversies, including the now defunct plans for a so-called anti-weaponization fund and the botched release of the Epstein files. And following the sudden death of Republican Senator Lindsey Graham, Blanche will likely need the support of every Republican on the committee in order for his nomination to advance to the Senate floor. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
That is the latest news. We've got traffic and weather ahead. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
7:35 Nationals Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super Text line is open. Joan, one of the haters has absolutely made my day with his comment to you.
I know. I love it.
1422. We're gonna tell you when we come back what 1422 said that absolutely made me LOL. Coming up on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here, and I'm sorry. What am I doing, Sam? Am I doing...
it's sunny out. I figured something about the patio being covered.
So very good. So listen, if you enjoy a covered patio, if you want a covered patio, check out my friends at The Covered Patio. Love these folks for a lot of different reasons, because if you've got a patio and you want to upgrade your patio, check out my friends at The Covered Patio and find them online, thecoveredpatio.com. If you want to add more living space to your home, think about building or upgrading that patio. They've got motorized screens so that you can easily keep the patio open when you want some sun and closed when you want some shade, so your back screened-in porch becomes a lot more enjoyable. Reach out to them at 615-695-2407. They've got motorized screens, patio covers, custom wooden decks, and outdoor structures. Now, by the way, if you don't have a patio, have one built by The Covered Patio. 615-695-2407, thecoveredpatio.com.
Okay, got an accident in Murfreesboro on 840 northbound between New Nashville Highway and Sulphur Springs. Traffic is stop and go there. In Blackman, they're saying the same stretch of road, the westbound side between Veterans Parkway and Horton Highway, exit 42. Pretty slow there, too. They're really not saying what's going on the roadway. Whites Creek, 24, westbound at Clay Lick Road overpass. That is a crash scene. Also, one more in Stones River, Hobson Pike at Southampton Boulevard. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$740 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, that's how this segment's going to go, is it? First 2 seconds, my voice starts going. So, Joan, 1422.
Yeah.
I guess we're going back and forth. I don't know exactly what he's mad at us about.
I know. I
But-
kept trying to convince him to go listen to country music.
You know what? I told him, I said, listen, tell your country station, play more Morgan Wallen,
Yeah.
and we're all good.
Yeah.
So, but he finally gets so frustrated with you and I, because, I mean, we're going back and forth. And he says to Joan, you better get good at making sandwiches and sitting your arse in the kitchen where a woman belongs. Wow.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny, actually. I mean, and you laughed. You said something, you're giving me a good laugh. Can you keep posting more like these?
Do one about my looks or do one about my voice. Like, you know.
Yeah, that's exactly
Keep
right.
going, buddy. It's kind of funny.
Well, you know what the funny thing is? Like, there's a people think that the text line is full of love. It's really not.
Oh, no.
I mean,
There was somebody this morning that said something about my looks that I look like an 85-year-old woman and I should just keep my trap shut.
wow.
Yeah. Yeah. It gets a little rough.
Well, I mean, most people love them some Joan Jones. They do. I think it's fair to say that I get the most hatred.
Yeah,
right?
I think that's true.
Which
Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the host, so, you know, I deserve every... some of it, though, doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Like when the guy said that I would, throw myself in front of a bus for Marsha Blackburn, I don't...
Where did you get that from?
Where's your evidence? I've been doing nothing but talking up, you know, all of the candidates or fairly criticizing all of the candidates, by the way, including Marsha Blackburn. So whatever. I don't, whatever. I'm sorry. People get mad when I say whatever because they think I'm trying to be cool.
We know you're not.
Listen, I don't have to try to be cool. Anyway, moving right along.
Hey,
You
the
just have to
sandwich
walk
guy.
in-
The sandwich guy is back.
What did he say?
He said, I said, give me, you know, you're giving me a laugh. Do more postings, please. And he said, nah, just your way of thinking that's dangerous. I don't know what that means. He said, bologna, cheese, lettuce, and mayo. Cut off the crusty edges. You could actually be good at something.
All right, if you're asserting that bologna is like the king lunch meat, your opinion just dropped as far as the respectability of it.
Bologna's horrible.
I love bologna.
Bologna needs to be outlawed.
No, okay. Have you ever had a fried bologna and cheese sandwich?
No.
It'll make your arteries panic, but it tastes so good. But
Wait.
again, not my top lunch meat choice.
You need grilled cheese with bologna slices cut real thin in the middle.
So I have to go to a funeral today.
Yeah.
And
Oh, sorry.
one of Amy's family members said that she was, you know how you do like things after a funeral, and so the family's getting together, and she said that she was going to make bologna sandwiches. I kid you not. This is on an Amy family group text.
I love
She
her
said-
family already.
Oh yeah, they're great. So Aunt Peggy said and Aunt Peggy's. I don't want to insult Peggy by guessing how old she is, but she's like the older of the family.
Okay.
She said that she was going to make bologna sandwiches. Everybody on the group text said, "No, that's okay. No need for bologna sandwiches." So anyway, yes, I did just knock them. Did you hear that, Joan?
Yes.
I knocked my
everybody
hat
heard it.
knocked the microphone.
Oh, see, I thought you nuzzled it.
No, nobody wants me nuzzling anything around here. Anyway, we had a big inflation report yesterday, meaning it was good news. Inflation slowed to 3.5% in June as Americans got a break from gasoline prices, and this is how it sounded as the news came down.
David, today's inflation report shows the first 1 month decline in 6 years.
Yeah, this is big news, right? 0.4% might not sound like a lot, but this hasn't happened since the pandemic that we've had a decline in monthly inflation. So we should celebrate that. Now we're down to 3.5% annually. That was 4.2% in the previous month. Now, why are prices down? It's because of energy. Remember, when the Strait of Hormuz reopened, energy prices started to fall, and they were down almost 6% in the past month. Now, we are still up, for context, almost 16% over the past year, but why did prices fall last month? It has everything to do with oil and gas prices tumbling in June.
All right, so that is obviously good news, and love it. The problem is, and it's more than likely only temporary, because the Strait of Hormuz was basically more... what's the right way to put it? Less restricted than it is now. The good news is they fell in June because a couple of things. Let's say, so consumer prices, this is from the Wall Street Journal. Consumer prices were up 3.5% in June from a year earlier, beating, though, expectations and improving from the 4.2 inflation rate in May. Inflation was also lower than the 3.8% that analysts polled by the Wall Street Journal expected. Now, Joan, when people are talking about this, like, what exactly is it are they saying? Like, are they, like, when I read this, and I didn't see it until a little bit later on in the day, but I immediately thought, okay, but, because I knew it was gas prices, because this is around the time when you and I were talking about how gas prices were lower. And everything stems from the price of gas. So, I don't know, to me, it is good news. And I'm very excited about that. Donald Trump was asked about this. He was excited as well.
Inflation slowed to 3.5%.
Yeah, thank you.
Will this trend hold now that strikes on Iran?
I think so. I think it's going to, inflation's down. We inherited the worst inflation in the history of our country. They say 48 years. It was the worst in the history of our country from Biden, Sleepy Joe. He might have been sleepy, but boy, he could create inflation like nobody. And I inherited that. And I got blamed for it, and it's not my fault. We are putting it to sleep, and we've done a great job. Scott and Howard and Marco and even Pete, because he's watching his dollars, right? But they've done a fantastic job. We've all done a fantastic job. So we had the worst inflation in history, and the history of our country. I mean, we had months where it was 9 and 10%, and now we have. A report just came out. It was just released. Thank you for bringing it up. But the report was incredible. Inflation is way down. That means prices are coming way down, and we're doing a great job.
All right, so President Trump, again, very excited about those numbers.
You know, anecdotally, people, yes, have been talking about the price of gasoline, especially coming down. But something that I heard about a lot over the weekend from different sources is that Walmart and Sam's Club and a couple of other places said that they were going to drop prices. And so Walmart, for instance, made a 12% cut on ground beef. Fresh cherries were cut. Coca-Cola was cut, Pepsi, the things that people, like to buy, like to go to like a Walmart to buy.
Basket goods.
Yes. So they chose a whole basket of goods to cut prices on and to help customers. And then, for them, this is it's a way to draw customers in. You get people like us talking about it. And so they'll go into the store to check out the prices and they're lower and it's good. So, I mean, I think that's going to go a long way to making prices. Now, they did that this month, so it's not going to show up in this report, but it may show up in next month's report.
So that was Walmart that did that?
Walmart, Sam's Club, of course, same company.
Yeah.
But then there were other companies that went along with it. I think Target also said that they were going to lower prices on some things too.
Where do you shop, Joan? If you don't mind saying.
So, unfortunately, we live kind of in a desert area. So the closest place for us is the Walmart. There's also a Food Lion, but it's not a very big one. It's not like,
a very good store.
Sam,
where do you shop?
Combination of places.
Yeah.
So you do that too? We do that.
Yeah.
We do that.
Like we get our beverages at Kroger's because Kroger typically has the best deal on sparkling water and Frescas.
Yep.
Get my steak, chicken, pork, stuff like that from Aldi's.
From Aldi's?
Oh, yeah.
Aldi,
Okay.
There's
really?
an Aldi's in Springfield, and it is fantastic. And then like dog food stuff, Walmart and Tractor Supply, because we spoil the dogs. But hitting all of that instead of just shopping one place, because I've crunched the numbers at this point, I save about $130 a grocery trip by breaking it up like that.
You're spending all day shopping, but that is definitely worth it.
Listen, I'm efficient. I know what I'm.
We do coupons and everything else. And
Do you
and
really? You do coupons? Yeah.
Amy is incredible at coupons. Like she'll be up in the morning on Sunday mornings when we do our shopping. She is going through those coupons on her phone, and we save a lot of money on coupons. And we do the same thing, Sam, where we'll just go and we'll maybe go to a couple of different places. We do get our meat and all that stuff from Publix. The point that I'm making though is that I have not necessarily noticed, and Amy and I were talking about this, we haven't noticed that prices have gone down because they do say that prices were broadly flat, meaning inflation trends have improved even outside of the cost of gas as well. So they're saying that ultimately either inflation went up a little bit or depending on what we're talking about, went down a little bit or was basically flat. I have not noticed that my grocery store trips have been less expensive. Have you noticed, Joan or Sam?
I mean, it's kind of held steady, but the thing
held steady.
I would point out is that these private run, businesses, I wouldn't call Walmart a grocery store, multi, conglomerate of things, but they're able to do that because of the flexibility they have on their cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that in a government-run grocery store, which is what they're trying to put forward in New York. You could put an Aldi's in New York for next to nothing.
Right.
And people would get not just cheap food, but it's quality food, which is why a lot of people like going there.
All those bodega owners in New York, they are freaking out. And by the way, here's the other thing. So a lot of those bodega owners, and I remember this from when I lived in New York many, many years ago, they're owned by immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
And these immigrants who have come to America, came to New York, way back when, a lot of these bodegas, they are generational. It's like grandpa, came to New York from, Greece or Italy, and he opened, or great grandpa opened the bodega, and then grandpa ran it, and the dad ran it, and now I'm running it. And they're saying that if these grocery stores are opened up that Mamdani wants to do, it's going to destroy the bodegas. Now, I don't know, because I predict that these government-run grocery stores will ultimately fail because they're going to have all of the leftists screaming that these got to be, these have to be, positions that pay, $25 an hour, and all of the leftist nuttiness that goes along with the things that Mamdani is, represents. For example, if you work in a grocery store run by the city, run by the government, well, then you've got to have a certain amount of employees that are trans, and you've got to pay for their trans surgeries. They can't make minimum wage, or they can't make the going rate. You've got to pay them $25, $30 an hour. You can't hire any white people, right? I mean, this is all what I see going on with a Mamdani-run grocery store. In a Mamdani-run grocery store, then you are going to have to be provided child care if you are a worker, right? All of these things are coming into play, yet somehow the prices are going to be lower, which means that it's obviously going to be subsidized. The whole thing is going to be a train wreck. Meantime, you're going to have all of these bodegas that are going to go out of business, I think, pretty quickly if they, are unable to compete with these stores. It's going to be a mess. And the videos were going viral a couple of weeks ago. And, I think that for New York, it is just going to be a big mess.
And that's all without mentioning the fact that, the friendly service that you get at the DMV or any other state-run
it's so
office.
Heartwarming, isn't it?
Imagine being an elderly individual asking for a walkout from the checkout. Hey, can I get my stuff taken to my car for me? Imagine how that goes over in a place like New York.
Yeah, but that creeps me out anyway. When I go to Publix and they ask if they can walk me to my car, it's like, no, you can't. It just feels weird. I know that they're being nice, and that's part of the thing.
Yeah.
But
I look at it like, my grandmother, she's 84. I very much would prefer, if she's going to insist on going to the grocery store by herself, that a young man walk her to the car, help her load the car up.
Absolutely.
Imagine the kind of customer service you'll get at a government-run grocery store.
By the way, a price drops in 3 categories: car insurance, wireless data service, and hotels, combined to pull down the overall monthly inflation rate significantly. And they say that these improvements cannot be expected to be repeated in the months ahead. So the president was really excited. This worries me a little bit, Joan. This is what the president said. He looks right into the camera.
Remember that for the midterms, I say to that camera. Remember that, because nobody else could do it. Prices are way down. Prices are coming way down, and we're going to bring them much lower yet.
So the president literally looks into the camera and says, remember the inflation rate and the prices heading into the midterms. Knowing, I don't know if I've seen any economists that have said that the inflation rate will not go back up because we're bombing Iran again, and all of that is now gone, but it's heated up again. So with that, the Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed, is closed right now, as a matter of fact, and that means gas is going to go up, which means that everything else is going to go up as well. So I love that the president is excited. I really am, but that particular clip, the Democrats may have a lot of fun with heading into October. It is 7:55 on Super Talk 99.7. Joan has the news coming up at 8. Joan.
Yeah, we've got more on ICE agents being told not to do vehicle stops anymore, and President Trump's reaction to that. It's coming up here at 8 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. We've got your forecast and traffic coming up in 5. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents were told to temporarily stop most vehicle stops nationwide immediately after a pair of fatal shootings in Texas and Maine involving ICE agents. In both cases, the agents said the suspects drove their cars at them. Here's former Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino on Newsmax.
I'll set the record straight for ICE. You ICE agents out there nationwide and especially in Maine, fantastic job. Keep it up. You're doing a great job. Never cower to the left or the anarchist rioters.
In fact, President Trump just this morning encouraging ICE and the Department of Homeland Security to resume vehicle stops and continue its deportation operations at full speed. A Hermitage woman says she was scammed out of $1,200 by someone pretending to be a Davidson County Sheriff's deputy. Christy Mathis said she agreed to send money through an online payment app to help a family member secure a pretrial release into a drug program that was a scam. News 2 reports there have been no arrests. Mathis says her bank is refusing to reimburse her. The latest on the financial saga at Uncle Nearest, WSMV4 is reporting CEO Fawn Weaver and her husband Keith have been booted out of the whiskey company. Uncle Nearest has been taken into receivership to protect the company's creditors. The receiver said the Weavers got in the way of his efforts to sell the Weavers' properties to repay creditors, so they've been fired from their own company. Supreme Court Justices Amy Coney Barrett and Elena Kagan at a hearing yesterday pleading for more security funding. They said they're facing an alarming rise in threats. They are said to be seeking a sizable 10% increase. That's about $14 million, almost entirely because of threats to those justices.
They want to beef up the police force there to 477 law enforcement officers. Right now they're using contractors. Really interesting new details about the types of threats. Justice Barrett said that the cyber threats against the Supreme Court alone, all those bad actors trying to get a sense of what they'd ruled before it's been released, 200 million attempted hacks just in the past year, and she said they expect that to double this year.
It's ABC's Devin Dwyer reporting. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management, online at beaconcm.com. Stock futures looking up this morning. The Dow futures right now plus 143. NASDAQ futures gaining 195. S&P futures plus 22 points in the opening bell in just about 28 minutes. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
.804 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. So many people, maybe even you, living with cataracts, and you don't even realize how much it's impacting your everyday life. Now, I was there, had no idea. Then I got my surgery. I got my procedure from Dr. Horn, and my life has changed really significantly, and I love it. Now, the good news is the fix is quick for your eyes. It all begins with a personalized consultation with Dr. Horn at Vision for Life. Now, if you've been dealing with blurry or cloudy vision, glare, maybe halos around lights, colors that just don't seem as bright as they used to be, well, those are indeed signs of cataracts. And for a lot of people, driving actually becomes dangerous because it's difficult to do, especially at night. And some people even experience double vision in one eye. Now, that's not something that you have to live with. Cataract surgery today is fast, painless. The results can be truly life-changing. I'm an example. So don't wait. Call Dr. Horn and Vision for Life, 615-436-2020, 615-436-2020. Find them online, visionforlife.com, to schedule your cataract evaluation with Dr. Horn and find out if you qualify. 615-436-2020, visionforlife.com.
All right, you've got an accident on make that Hobson Pike in Stones River. It's at Southampton Boulevard. And in Hartsville, it's Green Grove Road at Pleasant Valley Drive. They've been cleaning up an overturned tanker there all morning long. Still there this morning. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.806 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Good morning to your friends, and welcome on in to the fourth and final hour of Nashville's Morning News for your Wednesday, July 15th. The war in Iran, of course, does continue, and really the war ties into a lot of the things that we've been talking about this morning. Certainly the economy, which was one of the topics that we did in the last hour. We continue to bomb Iran day after day, night after night. The president told Fox News last night that more bombing is on the way, but he also says that the negotiations really do have to continue.
When was the last time you spoke with an Iranian official?
Well, not me, but let's say my representatives. I have spoken to them, but my representatives over the course of, actually, an hour ago.
And what message was delivered?
They want to make a deal. But every time they make a deal, they break it. They don't want to die. People don't want to die. About an hour ago.
And what message was delivered?
You better make a deal. You're not going to have anybody left. We're being very careful with the civilian population, as you know. But I said, you better make a deal. You're not going to have anything left.
And you think they will?
They should. I don't know if they will or not.
I don't think that they will. I don't think the president believes that they will either, which is why he's bombing the living crap out of them. So, we can make all the deals that we want with Iran, but the problem is they simply will not stick to the deal. They have no intention of honoring that deal either. Do you remember when we were kids, Joan, when you would make a promise to somebody, but then, you would cross your fingers, and that means that you're not going to...
Especially if you do it behind your back and they're not looking.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
So I saw a meme, and it was Donald Trump talking to an old bearded guy in a turban, and they're shaking hands, and the old bearded guy in a turban has, his fingers behind his back crossed. In other words, there's nothing that Iran is going to agree to that we can trust that they will live up to. And so that's the big problem that Donald Trump has, and that's why we are looking to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Right now it is closed, but there's a lot going on with this war. One thing that Trey Yingst asked, and it is a good question, was, is there sort of, one thing that the straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, on intelligence as to why this whole thing began? And, I think it's a good question. The president, of course, reverted back to his, his talking point about Iran and nuclear weapons.
Was there a specific piece of intelligence that made you decide to launch this operation?
Well, it was specific in the sense that it just never stops, and they're going to go forward, and they wanted a nuclear weapon. We knew they wanted a nuclear weapon. If they have a nuclear weapon Israel wouldn't be here. Look,
they said they didn't want a nuclear weapon.
Well, they say that. Everything they say is a lie. They lie. I've never seen anything like it. They also come out and they'll tell you we never discussed nuclear, and we're in a room for 5 hours. That's all we discussed. And they'll walk out and say, nuclear was not discussed. Everything was discussed ad nauseum. They were going to have a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks. Had we not done the B-2 bombers, had we not bombed their nuclear sites, their 3 nuclear sites, and there's another one we're looking at right now.
All right, so there you go. I mean, Donald Trump calling it. I mean, he says the Iranians, simply put, cannot be trusted, and they can't. And the president knows that. I think the question now is just, how do we keep the Strait of Hormuz open? Like, that is the bottom line. How do we do that? Because that impacts everything. But I did point this out earlier, that remember that Iran has even said that they don't want a nuclear weapon. They have declared it via a religious decree. Of course, you've heard about a fatwa against the development of nuclear weapons, saying that it was forbidden under Islam, which, please. I mean, just stop it. You know, I read this morning that this fatwa has never actually been written or produced or actually documented. It was like a single statement that was made way back in like 2003. So this whole fatwa thing, I've heard so many Democrats, including whatever her name is on the 5. What is her name on the 5, the Democrat? I don't even know. The one with the glasses. But she has even said, what's her name?
Tarlov.
Jessica Tarlov. So yeah, she has brought this mysterious fatwa up a couple of different times, and the Iranians simply won't live up to it. And also, again, and I bring this up again, the taqiyya, where the people, the Muslims, they're permitted to lie about what they're doing to avoid persecution or to, in my opinion, further their cause. This is, in and of itself, debated, but I believe that the Iranians, of course, are lying, regardless as to how they justify the lie. They're lying. And by the way, as I said, all of this, we just wrapped up night 4 of another stage of bombing. Now the president is saying, and we've been reporting on this morning, that the worst bombing is yet to come. This is President Trump and Trey Yingst.
You anticipate that the strikes we're seeing this week against Iran will expand? Are you considering hitting energy targets or other locations inside of Iran?
I'll save the energy targets for last, but ultimately we'll hit energy targets, yeah. But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them, because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
I think it's an interesting question, Joan. Do you think we'll ever actually do that? Do you think we'll ever actually bomb the power plants and the bridges? The president has been saying this for so long, and we haven't done it yet. And I know what he's trying to do. He's clearly trying to get the Iranians to the table, and that's what he needs to do. And these kind of threats, they have worked before, but ultimately to what end? I don't know. What do you think, Joan?
Is bombing bridges and power plants against the Geneva Conventions?
No. Well, okay, so here's what they'll say, because I've talked about this. The left will say that it is against the Geneva Convention because that is infrastructure that civilians use, and because of that, then that is indeed a war crime.
Yeah.
But others will tell you, well, yeah, but if it's a bridge that the military uses as well, then it's fair game. If it's a power plant that the military uses as well, then it's fair game.
And that's why the Palestinians were always hiding out and hiding their weapons inside schools and hospitals, because you're not going to bomb them, because for heaven's sakes, that would be against the Geneva Convention.
Well, and you got people, and we were joking earlier, Joan, 1422, where his whole thing is Israel. And we are, supporting Israel, and they've killed all these children. And nobody ever wants to talk about how Hamas would hide their bombs and hide their fighters underneath schools, or the fact that they would use children as human shields, or the fact that they would try to bomb Israel. Hamas would try to bomb Israel, but they're so bad at bombing that they would actually bomb their own people. So, I mean, give it a rest. I mean, whatever. People are going to start, people are going to be, triggered by what I just said. But you know what? Facts is facts. And I'm sorry, but when Hamas attacked Israel, would you like to talk about what happened to the people of Israel when that happened? It was horrifying. So yeah, Israel has every right to defend itself. Now, I'm not, and I'm just going to admit this, I'm not as pro Benjamin Netanyahu as I once was. However, I totally understand the battle between Israel and Hamas and the horrifying things that have been happening to Israel for decades. And so it's a difficult conversation. It's a nuanced conversation. But when it comes to, the Israelis are killing children, would you like to talk about the entire context of that statement? Most people on the left have absolutely no interest in talking about the entire context of that kind of a statement. It is 8:16, time to check the roads on WTN. Sunny day today and possible pop-up storms as well, high near 90. Thanks for listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN. All right, so as far as diplomatic moves and Donald Trump and talking about Iran and all this, we keep trying, and we did try the diplomatic route. It didn't work. You've got the usual countries now, Pakistan and Qatar and others, that are saying that diplomacy is not going to work. Now, I've seen quotes this morning, the following regarding the war. No end in sight. Not really sure where this is headed. This could go on for quite some time. One question is, will we eventually take Karg Island? And really, what are we waiting for? Because if we really want to ramp up the situation with Iran and try to nuke their economy, that's what we need to do. We need to take Karg Island.
Quickly.
You posted today on True Social comments that you made back in 1988 about Karg Island. And at the time you said, one bullet shot at one of our men or ships, and I'd do a number on Karg Island, I'd go in and take it.
Yeah.
Do you still intend to take Karg Island?
So I can't say that to you because if I did, it would be foolish, right? But it'd be nice to make a little headlines, but it would be foolish. But I'll tell you about Karg Island. So we've already...
Are you ruling out a ground campaign in a limited capacity?
I don't want to say that either, but I would say no if I thought it was appropriate. I'd say sometimes you need a ground campaign, but we have other people that will do the ground campaign for us. But we already hit Karg Island, as you know, twice, even 3 times. I said hit everything but the oil. Just leave that little area from 25 yards out. Leave that little area. Don't touch the oil. Because I don't want that in terms of the world economy. It's a chunk of the world economy.
Well, yeah, Karg Island is a very high value target. This is where most of Iran's oil comes from, and that's where they do all the processing and the exporting and all of that. But other nations also use Karg Island. But, beyond all that, part of the dynamic with Karg Island is the fact that and I've talked about this before, but our men and women in uniform, that is where they would face the most danger. You're talking about coordinating all of our assets, right? Amphibious, air, ground. We would be exposed. We would be in a fishbowl, if you will, and vulnerable to snipers and drones. And, here's the thing. We need Karg Island. So what we need to do is we need to do whatever we can to capture Karg Island and not destroy it, and don't let Iran destroy it either, because I do wonder if Iran would rather see Karg Island destroyed than have the great Satan, that would be us, they say, the great Satan control it. It's such a complicated facility. It can't really be rebuilt quickly, and if we end up destroying it, that would impact oil across the world. So we need to take it over, and at the same time, we need to protect it. Now, finally, as we've mentioned many times, you simply cannot trust Iran, so you need to watch them. The president says, oh, yeah, we're watching them. We're watching them 24/7, 365.
Within 2 weeks, had we not done the B-2 bombers, had we not bombed their nuclear sites, their 3 nuclear sites. And there's another one we're looking at right now, as you know.
Pickaxe Mountain.
We're looking at Pickaxe because somebody said there's a little activity. You know, we have cameras, Space Force, we have cameras they can read the badge, they can read your name, probably Mohammed. They can read your name on a badge from space. And every area of Pickaxe, but the other 3 are covered.
But specifically on
if they make any move, we immediately go and do whatever we have to do. But they haven't. On the other, they were so decimated.
Some weapons experts say that the United States doesn't have the ability to strike deep enough with these bunker buster bombs at Pickaxe Mountain.
They can go deep. We have good stuff. Nobody knows about Pickaxe. By the way, nobody knows if they even are doing anything with it.
Yep, so that is President Trump. Obviously, you heard him say, we're watching them. You heard the president mention Pickaxe. That is a tunnel system being built near the Natanz nuclear facility. So if they're trying to regain the tunnel, regain access to that tunnel system, what that really means is they're trying to get back into Natanz, which means they are, not shockingly, trying to get their program started anew. So we'll have to see, we're going to keep bombing and keep bombing and keep bombing. And it sounds like we're not going to stop. I don't believe that we should stop because I want to see Iran come to the table. I want to see them crippled to the point where they have to agree to terms and actually live up to those terms. The only way that we're going to do that is by destroying their economy. The only way that we can truly destroy their economy, it would appear, is to take over Karg Island. 8:21 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dan Mandis here. Now, don't forget, this Saturday, it's a big day. Matt Murphy and I both, we're going to be at Contours from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Contours. It is an open house where you can check out the red light technology, the red light therapy that both Matt and I have been talking about. You can come in, you can check out the technology, you can talk to the staff, you can talk to some of the clients, you can find out how body contouring with red light technology can help you. So again, this is this Saturday. Come on out, meet Matt, meet me, and you can talk to the folks at Contours. Details at contoursllc.com. 8:22, Joan's got the news coming up at 8:30. Joan.
Yeah, the U.S. has hit Iran very hard just this morning. We've got details coming up here at 8:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
$8:23, Super Talk 99.7. Dan Matt is here for the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Friends, if you've been suffering from chronic back, neck, or knee pain, the Wellness Institute of Nashville, they can help you, like they've helped so many others across Middle Tennessee. So whether it is non-surgical spinal decompression or the brand new Medical Bay 1, the Wellness Institute of Nashville, they always have the latest and greatest technology to help you get off the sidelines and back in the game. Now, they did it for me years ago. They can do it for you today. Now, this Medical Bay 1, right now, they've got a great deal going on. You mention my name, you get $33 off each and every visit to Medical Bay 1. It's the Epic Spinal Special. For some reason, I wanted to say Signal. It is the Epic Spinal Special Medical Bay 1. It uses red light technology and stem cell stimulation for tissue regeneration and healing. So, have an active rest of summer and feel like the person you used to be. Courtesy of the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Call them, tell them Dan told you to reach out. 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009. Painisbad.com. Hey, it's Dan Mandis. Want to tell you about my friends at Loan Pronto. Listen, if you have a 2, 3, or 4% mortgage rate, do not refinance it. You don't have to. You can still get cash out of your home through my friends at Loan Pronto. Introducing Loan Pronto's zero-cost equity loans. That's right. With Loan Pronto, you can get all the cash you need without touching your first mortgage and without any fees. One local homeowner just got $100,000, paid off all their credit cards, paid off their existing HELOC, remodeled their kitchen, and saved over $1,500 every single month. But wait, it gets better. There's no hard credit pull up front, usually no appraisal, no long drawn-out process, and listen, no closing costs when you go through Loan Pronto. You may even be able to skip your next 2 house payments. Call Loan Pronto, leave your low-rate mortgage intact, but get the cash you need in as little as 2 weeks without paying closing costs. LoanPronto.com. See how much you can get right now at 615-499-5780, 615-499-5780, LoanPronto.com. For qualified homeowners, equal housing lender, NMLS 166-1781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org. $829 Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Super text line 615-737-9986. 615-737 WWTN. So apparently, I don't know about you, Joan. I'm really looking forward to this speech that Trump is about to make on Thursday.
Yeah.
So, and we were talking to Brian earlier. Originally, I thought that it was going to be a speech about, UAPs and UFOs and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I guess he's got all kinds of evidence of
what initially
of election shenanigans and hijinks, and he's literally going to call out the state of Georgia.
So, are you sure about this? Is it going to be that, or is it going to be about Iran. Like, I heard that it was going to be about Iran, and then MSNBC or MS whatever they are now it started talking about elections.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. From what the internet is saying, which, if it's on X,
On the
it must
internet,
be true.
it's true. That's right.
But I've seen all three. I've seen elections, I've seen UAPs, and now we're talking about Iran. I really don't know. But apparently Raphael Warnock, the senator out there in Georgia, is all triggered by the whole thing. So anyway, it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm going to probably watch it on tape delay because I can't stay up until 8 o'clock at night. But it'll be fun to watch, and we'll, of course, have all the coverage for you on Friday morning. Mm-hmm. It is 8:30, Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Good morning. It is 8:30, and I'm Joan Jones with your top stories. Got your forecast, and we've got traffic in 5 minutes. New coordinated and powerful strikes on Iran at 6 o'clock Eastern time this morning. CENTCOM releasing a video of a 90-minute wave of strikes against the coastal defense systems and cruise missile storage and launch sites along Karg Island.
And this follows 7 commercial ships that have been struck crossing the Strait of Hormuz. CENTCOM Commander Admiral Brad Cooper gave a number we hadn't heard yet. Nearly a dozen civilian crew members killed, missing, or injured by the Iranian strikes. And he added, U.S. forces are holding Iran accountable for unwarranted aggression that continues to endanger innocent lives. 137 days into this conflict, the president says Iran has been beaten up badly and leaders can be pressured into making a deal, but the dialogue out of Iran is all defiant.
That's Mike Tobin there at Fox News. Tennessee is set to execute a man convicted of raping and murdering a motel maid in Kingston Springs in 1985. But Anthony Hines' lawyers are trying to get the execution delayed because he is in ill health. News 2's Kelly Milan reports the family of Catherine Jenkins are tired of waiting.
In court filings and letters, Hines' attorneys describe him as extremely frail. They say he has suffered strokes, is blind in his left eye, and cannot walk. But for Melissa Jenkins, none of that changes what happened to her mother, or the fact that her family has waited 4 decades for the sentence to be carried out.
The criminal gets all of the focus because, they're the one that's still alive and walking around. Everybody forgets about the victim and they forget about the victim's family.
Melissa was just 22 years old when her mother was murdered. Now, at 63, she says the case has lasted longer than she ever imagined.
Now, unless a court or Governor Lee intervenes, Tennessee is scheduled to carry out that execution at 10 a.m. on August 13th. Market numbers brought to you by Beacon Capital Management online at beaconcm.com. And stocks begin trading about 2 minutes ago, and the Dow Jones Industrial starting off 129 points higher. The NASDAQ is up 174. S&P 500 index, it is up 32 points. That's the latest news. We've got traffic and weather next. I'm Joan Jones, WTN News.
I was just so unhappy with myself. I made myself sick to look at me, to be honest with you, but that's why I came.
That's Gary, and he was at the end of his rope and desperate to find a way to lose the belly fat at his midsection that had been plaguing him for years. And those results that he'd been looking for, he found at Contours in Cool Springs.
This was the motivation I needed to help me get through that, along with the treatments that have been fantastic and the results I've been super pleased with.
Gary's not the only one. Clients at Contours have been singing their praises for the last 5 years. Contours uses red light technology to get rid of that loose skin across the belly. FDA-cleared red light technology is all the rage these days, and Contours is one of the originals, using it for helping get rid of unwanted fat and wrinkles on your face. It is fast, simple, pain-free, and no downtime. They've got a special going on right now for listeners to my show. First 10 callers gets that Belly Buster special for just $99. That's right, special price $99 for the first 10 callers. 615-236-9960, 615-236-9960. Don't forget that open house this weekend. Matt Murphy and I will be at Contours in Cool Springs to walk you through the facility, introduce you to the staff, and talk about how they can help you. This coming Saturday, 11 to 1, Matt Murphy and I live in Cool Springs at Contours. We'll be looking for you. Details and RSVP at contoursllc.com.
That's an accident in Donaldson on Bluefield Avenue at Spring Valley Road. Another one at Berry Hill on I-65 northbound side, right at I-440. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
You like the Beach Boys there, Chris?
I do.
Do you?
So it's funny. You mentioned that they're coming to the Ryman in that big commercial.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh, that's cool. I was like, my mother and father-in-law are coming to town. I was like, maybe we could go see the Beach Boys. And then I thought to myself, well, it's at the Ryman. I work here. I can't really afford those tickets. So
yeah.
So I quickly, before I even texted the wife about it, I just moved on, Dan. I just
5 seconds into the commercial, you're out.
I was like, I don't know if I can afford this.
By the way, I'm very proud of the commercial. I did a commercial. So basically that's an endorsement. I was asked by the Beach Boys to endorse.
You're the voice of the Beach Boys. Anecdotally speaking,
Well, it's because they're a little high-pitched.
Brian Wilson's love Dan Mandis.
Did you hear what she just said?
I did. I was going to breeze by it as I thought it was too hurtful.
Because I'm a little high-pitched.
Well, they are too. So you guys kind of, like, you match. You know, it's...
Dan, did you want to critique Joan's speech?
Oh, shoot. Where is that? Did you hear what Joan did earlier? Oh,
See,
my God.
you know,
this was
the problem
so
is
funny.
that Sam acts like he's in 5th stinking grade.
I don't
You
act
clipped
that way.
it, didn't you? You clipped it, didn't you?
Listen.
And then you shared it with
clipped
Dan.
Absolutely, he did.
You two,
This was-
I swear.
Is this the end of No, it was like an hour earlier. We were talking about Chuck Schumer and the Schumer chart that he let rip on the floor.
Yeah.
I did not do that.
But somehow it was still on Joan's mind.
Yeah, this is what Joan threw down earlier. You ready? You ready, Chris?
Stories. Got your forecast and traffic.
Forecast.
Oh, you guys, honestly.
Fartnomics.
I think the fartcast is going to be stinky.
Did you hear me yesterday on my show? I called you out and the rest of the WTN hosts and our news people for pushing fake news.
Yeah.
No, what did you do?
Every single one of you guys have pushed fake news, and I find it abhorrent.
Okay. What fake news?
The CNBC list of Tennessee being the worst place to live is 100% accurate. And to push back against that is the wrong thing to do, Dan.
Is it
We
now?
need to just take our lashing.
Sure.
And acknowledge it, and we have to just bow our head and move on. It is the worst place to live. If you were listening from out of state,
it sucks here.
It is awful.
It's awful. It's
terrible.
And I wouldn't move here. And then DeSantis chimes in and he starts saying the volunteer state's great. It's like, no. Mind your own business, Mr. Boots.
You know, you go put your platform boots back on there, DeSantis.
So, yeah, I was very upset.
Fake news, Ron.
I turned to you and I turned to Murphy and everybody on the station, and I expect a level of professionalism and fact-checking, and it just wasn't there with this story. You guys completely ignored it, and you pushed back in such a right-wing extremist kind of way, and I don't think that was fair to the audience.
No, Tennessee's a great place to live, sure.
It's not. It's awful.
I didn't hear that, but I appreciate the calling out, if you will.
We have to call balls and strikes here, Dan.
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee's terrible if you're thinking about moving.
Please don't.
I wouldn't.
Listen, if you're streaming the show right now and you're thinking, oh, wouldn't it be nice to actually hear WTN on the radio?
It's not.
By moving to Middle Tennessee, you know what?
It isn't.
It's much better on the stream.
Trust me.
You should just push, get the morning shows syndicated. That's all.
No. God, no. By the way, I was doing all those people that are asking for that, sure. I was doing a podcast yesterday.
Where are you, Dan?
I was. Well, no. I was like a guest on a podcast, right? So I'm doing this podcast. Now, I don't know what is happening in my basement, but there has been a single fly that has been tormenting me for the
That's
better part of 3 days, right? So I can't, like, I don't have a fly swatter. I don't. Like, we never have flies. My house is extremely clean.
You know, it's so funny. Todd Warner was in here the other day, and he left you a fly swatter.
He did. He brought me a fly swatter. That's been on my mind because he was in here yesterday. He did. He brought me a fly swatter, which I thought was random, but oddly enough, I need. So now it is in my bag. But this fly, like, it won't leave me alone. Like, the basement is huge, and it's flying around me. And so I have this, you know, I got the piece of paper and it's all rolled up and I'm trying to hit the damn thing. And so I can't get it. I'm doing this podcast and it's like a Barrett Media thing. And so it's me and like some other.
It's very highfalutin for media
radio
professionals.
People. Yeah.
He's
And
probably telling everyone how
people.
great, he's telling everyone how great it is to live in Tennessee.
No, I did not say that,
Good.
actually.
Good. That's the last thing we need.
I did make sure my Marconi, though, was in the background.
Of course you did.
It was a humble flex.
So this fly starts tormenting me as I'm on this podcast because of video.
gosh.
So I'm like, and you don't want to like break character or like start trying to hit the damn fly. This thing, I almost swallowed the fly.
No.
Yeah. What? Because I'm talking, right? So it's my turn to talk, and I'm going, and this fly hits my cheek, and I thought that I came very close to, like, because my mouth was open, so I thought I was going to swallow the damn thing. Because wouldn't that just be like just on brand? Mandis is on a podcast and he manages to swallow a fly. Now, luckily, I obviously did not swallow the fly. That would have been funny as all get out.
That's one of the things the CNBC list missed. A lot of flies. A
lot of flies here
in Tennessee.
A lot of flies.
So many, they enjoy landing in your mouth. But do you remember which debate was it where the fly kept landing on somebody and then
Mike
everybody
Pence.
it was Mike Pence?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
So
I remember Mike Pence.
Were you channeling your inner Pence?
No, I was channeling my inner anger because I was trying to not sound like an idiot on this podcast like I do on the radio. And I'm trying to just ignore the fly, and I'm going to be very interested to see when this thing actually airs or whatever, when they post it, if you can see the fly.
And everybody else on the podcast is wondering, he doesn't notice that fly keeps landing on his face, does he?
He's got this fly that just won't leave him alone. How dirty is his studio? You know what I mean? So yeah, I was very, it was very annoying. I'm trying to find the mic. Do you remember awkward debate moments? So there was the Mike Pence, and I'm going to try and find the Mike Pence fly. That's got to be on the socials. Do you remember when? Do you remember? I bet you. I know Joan remembers. Do you remember when that thing came out of Ted Cruz's like nose or wherever that thing was? Do you remember that, Joan?
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that.
There was a white thing that came out of Ted Cruz. I think it came out of his nose.
Was it some booger sugar?
I don't know what it was, but it traveled from the bottom of his nose, and as he's talking, it's going down towards his mouth.
Oh no.
And I was like all about Ted Cruz at the time, and I'm like, no. And it finally, as it goes down, it disappears.
He swallowed it, didn't he?
I don't know what happened to it.
His tongue went numb.
I don't know, but it was, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what is that?
It is tough. Like, you feel bad for some people because it's just awkward stuff that happens when you're on camera all the time. And the more you're on camera, the more chance that you have of something like this happening to you. Do you remember the Temu brand Kennedy that spoke after one of the State of the Unions? And he was in Massachusetts, but he had all the spittle in his lips.
I don't remember that.
You don't remember that?
No.
He had like the white spittle. Which Kennedy was it? It was an off-brand Kennedy.
An off-brand Kennedy?
Yeah, it was this.
I don't know. By the way, on Super Talk TV, I've got the picture of Mike Pence with that fly on him. Now, the great thing is, he's got white hair. And so the black fly just, like, stands out on his white hair. And I don't know how long it stayed on his hair, but I guess he clearly didn't feel it. But yeah. So anyway, the Mike Pence fly. Let me see. Wait, no, I don't remember that. Let me see if I can find the Ted Cruz, the Ted Cruz booger thing that was going. I'm sorry. Why do we always, you know what? Why is it we always devolve into like fifth grade?
By the way.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Yes, Joan.
I did find it.
You did.
In fact, the Daily Show did it. The booger on the lip of democracy.
Oh my God! Can you send me the link so I can put it up real quick?
Yeah.
Send it to
Do you
Dan
want-
Show.
So, do you want the video or do you just want a picture? I guess it's really.
Just go and send me the picture.
You know, I like how you say we always devolve into this stuff, but do you realize that we were way ahead of the curve when it came to the explosive diarrhea outbreak in the country, and now it is everywhere?
It is. It is everywhere. And Joan earlier, though, she, in just a rare case of professional journalism, refused to say
rare case
explosive diarrhea on her newscast.
Sam sent me a meme.
She refused.
Sam sent me a meme on Instagram, and it said, the good news is that you tested negative for the explosive diarrhea. The bad news is your diarrhea was so explosive that you took a test.
That's good. That's good. All right, let me. So you don't. Oh gosh, I remember this. Let me put it on the. So if you're watching on Super Talk TV, you'll see. Are you watching Super Talk TV, Chris? So you'll see that he is talking, and that thing was right there. And there's a good shot of it. Can you see it? Where it's literally dripping from the top part of his.
I can't watch it. It's going to make me sick.
And then I think it just disappeared. He's talking. And
oh no, that went in there, didn't it?
And how does he not feel that? Like it's dripping from his lip. Oh, then it goes down to the bottom lip, and then it disappears. Then there it goes. Ted Cruz, everybody.
You ended up here without my help, by the way. I just want to point that out.
I would be willing to bet
First time ever.
That is why Ted Cruz lost the primary, is because it came out that he was a booger sugar eater.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Case of the drips. He had to.
Speaking of explosive diarrhea,
he looked awful without a beard. By the way,
I guess. His beard right now is sort of like Abe Lincoln-esque.
I like that we've gotten back to a time in America where beards are back.
Yeah, they did go away for a while.
Every grown man looks better with a beard.
You know, I've told you this. My wife calls a beard a male version of a push-up bra.
Okay, but the difference being I don't have to go to a store and buy one.
It's true.
It just happens.
Fact check true. That's right.
It's true.
Yeah. I look much better with a beard. I have never seen you without a beard.
And you won't.
Chris. No?
You won't.
Okay. Is it bad? Do you have a picture of you without a beard?
I mean, I've done it before, but I won't do it again.
Do you have it? We can put it up real quick. Do you have it on you?
Don't have it.
Oh, isn't that convenient? Chris Hand.
What do you know?
So convenient that I've had a beard for the last 15 years of my life, and I don't have a picture handy of the beardless Chris.
Hey, where did you DJ 15 years ago?
Jim in 94.5. Boston's number one for blazing hip hop and R&B.
So Sam is clearly going to try to find some sort of a promo picture.
You can look.
Did you go by Chris Hand?
No.
What was your on-air name?
Cash.
Oh my God.
Really? With a K?
Yep.
Oh no! And was the S a dollar sign?
No, it wasn't. We didn't go that far.
You didn't go that far?
Did you run DJ in front of it?
No.
Now, the reason why the S wasn't a dollar sign, of course, was because you're working radio.
I wasn't making any money.
There's no dollar signs in radio. We all know that.
It's true.
Anyway, so yeah, we'll see if we can find a promo picture of Cash without the dollar sign.
Cash with a K. It's
Cash
funny.
with a K.
My nephew Raj still calls me that because that's how he met me. That's how I was referred to.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like 20 now, and or he's 18. He's going off to college to play football.
Nice.
Yeah.
And he still calls you Cash with a K?
Cash with a K.
Cash with a K. Yo.
Uncle Cash.
Uncle Cash.
After how many years in radio now?
It's a lot.
So if you went back to DJ, you would be known as Cashless.
Yep.
Because you work in radio all this All right. Anyway, so there you go. Hey, you've got a big guest on today.
Yes, we got Monty Fritz on. And here's the thing that I like about Monty. I said we've been trying to get him back on the show, and he's been busy. Obviously, I don't know if you know this. He's running for governor.
I've heard that a time or two.
This is the cool thing about Monty. I was like, okay, we'll do the interview again. I was like, but let's do like a reintroduction, and we'll just start from the beginning because there's still a lot of people that are just beginning to pay attention to the gubernatorial race.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, so let's start at the beginning. We'll do the whole thing while you're running, and then I'm going to ask you some hard questions. And you know what his response was? Okay, sounds great.
There you go.
That's it. Not. Well, what are the questions? Well, can you send me the list of questions? None of that. It was just okay, cool.
Do you know what's so funny? I have never, Joan. Have you ever had somebody demand a list of questions? Like I've heard these accusations before. Like when I did the Blackburn and Rose interviews.
Yeah.
People accused me of having scripted questions, which I did. Like my questions were literally on a piece of paper, but the reason wasn't because I gave her the questions or because they gave me the questions.
Right.
It was because I'm a long question asker. And I wanted to make sure that my questions were concise and made sense because sometimes, Chris, I could get a little loopy.
No, I get that. I've had it's never the politician themselves, right? It's always the team around them.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, what are you going to be talking about? What do you want to talk about?" So, and I get that. Give me a heads up where the conversation is going to go. And I did have with Haggerty's team. I said, "I'm going to talk about ousting Thune and this and that." And he goes, I had the member of his team come back and go, "Can we avoid the Thune conversation?" And I wrote back, "Only if you want to cancel the interview."
And they did the interview.
They did the interview.
Well, that says a little something about Haggerty.
It does.
Realizing how that interview went, they probably should have canceled it.
I thought it was a good interview.
You know what? I thought that he answered. He was good. I mean, you two got sideways, but
I didn't think we were sideways. I thought it was very respectful.
It was. I could tell that he was getting a little irritated for Haggerty, but you know what? At the end, you said you diffused it masterfully when you said, "I'm not angry, with you. You're just the guy on the phone."
Yep.
So yeah, no, I get it. No,
That's
I
the
thought,
truth.
Yeah,
I would have gone way harder if it was Tom Tillis on the phone. If I had Lisa Murkowski on the phone, I might have cussed.
Might had you have cussed?
I would have said, "Gosh darn it, I'm tired of the shenanigans."
Mm-hmm. Hijinks and shenanigans. Come on. Did you hear what Joan said about Mitch McConnell earlier?
Oh no.
You missed that?
Was it a China joke or was it a death joke?
It was
almost a live joke.
I said, we're talking about the Rhino 4 and the SAVE Act. And I said, Tom Tillis, Lisa Murkowski, blah, blah, blah. And you have Mitch McConnell. And what did Joan say?
Well, we almost have Mitch McConnell.
She said you almost have Mitch McConnell, or she says something like you have a little bit of Mitch McConnell.
She said you have most of Mitch McConnell.
Most of Mitch McConnell. I don't even know if you've got most of Mitch. See, I feel bad because the man may die.
He might.
But
you know what, Dan? So will all of us.
Yeah. No one gets out alive.
Some of us sooner than later. Okay, listen.
But with the modern advances in science, they could take a Mitch McConnell consciousness and pump that thing into a robot, and we could get 200, maybe 300 more years of Mitch.
We can't at Bernie's.
Good, solid years of Mitch.
Listen, just so we're clear, if I'm dying at any point, you guys are free to make fun of me.
Deal.
Can we do it before?
You could. Well, you do it anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's like, okay, so
true.
in other words, don't feel like you need to respect me when I'm on my way out. Just make it humorous, and it'll all be fine.
How do you feel about turning the funeral into a roast?
Sure, absolutely.
More to the fly rules. You gotta hold the head if you're gonna talk.
There you go. By the way, somebody says, can we get people to get rid of the porn stashes? Because we were talking about beards earlier, and I did. You remember I tried, Joan? You remember when I tried the stash?
Yeah,
just the mustache.
Yeah.
Like the Tom Selleck kind of stash.
I couldn't make the Tom Selleck thing work.
Did it look more like John Waters?
I don't know who that is, but
do you remember the time Michael Jordan tried to bring back the Hitler mustache?
Yes.
What?
You don't remember that?
You don't remember that, Joan?
No.
Yeah, Michael Jordan tried to bring back the Hitler stash at one point.
Yep.
And you know what? If there was anybody that could have done it, it'd be Michael Jordan. It
Oh
would have
my
been
gosh.
It'd be Michael Jordan.
So
It
I
would have been
just
MJ.
I just started to put Michael Jordan and I put HIT and it came up Hitler mustache.
He really did. I think it was in like a Hanes commercial.
Oh.
Yeah, it was.
All right, let's check images. Yeah,
Oh, she wants to see
look at
Michael
that.
Jordan in some Hanes. Was he in his? Did he wear Hanes during those commercials?
It's a huge Hanes, mostly the T-shirts.
But I don't think he went like full Mark Wahlberg in those commercials.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember any of that.
But he did go full Fuhrer.
He did. And you know what? Try as he might, he could not get the Hitler mustache to come back.
No, he tried to get it off the ground. I mean, I think it's admirable.
Do you think? I didn't. I thought,
Well,
what in the world is he
you're
doing?
gonna let one bad apple ruin a mustache for everybody?
Yeah, Charlie Chaplin rocked it first.
Yeah, Chaplin did a great job with it.
Do you know what? All right. So which one of us, me, Sam, or Chris, let's do a daily dance. Okay.
You know what you
No, no,
should
no.
try to bring back?
What?
The Mao hairstyle.
No.
That's what you should go for.
I think we need to let the audience decide. Let's do a daily Dan poll. Sam, Dan, or Chris, which one of us has to try to rock a Hitler mustache?
I can't grow hair in the middle of my lip, so it wouldn't work for me.
And throw Murphy Show in there as well, because Matt has facial hair. Which of the four of us do people need to try the Hitler mustache?
They already think we're Nazis. We shouldn't.
They do. Let's just veer right in. All right, we really got to go. 8:58. Jones got the news. Joan.
Yeah, under fire this morning. Todd Blanche is being grilled on Capitol Hill. It's his confirmation hearings. We've got it coming up at 9 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.